Hey everybody, welcome to the archived version of last Saturday, July 24th, Treehouse Sessions live stream. I'm Seren, and we're gonna be going through the entire thing today. The entire thing is cut up. There's a couple of small pieces I had to remove because I got interrupted one. There was some copyrighted music at the end, so those have been cut. Those 2 seconds have been cut out, but everything else is left intact. But I cut out those last two things, those previously mentioned, for a smoother experience. Because I don't think they need to be in here. And I also wanted to add this intro to say that we made the switch to Twitch for this stream, not knowing what it would be. Not knowing what it would become. Like, would it crash and burn, or would it do better than YouTube? It turns out that it was the latter. I'm just going to read you my analytics. It was amazing. We didn't have any of this on the first thing. We went 3 hours, 2 hours, 15 minutes, with all the music and everything cut out. We had an average of 17 viewers. We had a max of 24 viewers. We had 42 unique viewers, 14 unique chatters, and 146 live views. So, you guys were nuts and went out of the park with this. I'm very happy to see that, and I'm very happy to be able to report that, because I didn't know how this was going to go. We were gone 6 months. It went nuts. It's because we were gone 6 months. So I'm very happy. I'm very excited. And thank you to all the people that came out. It was extremely fun and worth staying up for the extra 2 or 3 hours that I typically do. It was so worth it. I don't regret it one bit. So yeah, I mean, that's really it. Thanks again for coming out. Some of you say the entire thing. I'm very impressed, and some of you are gonna sit back and listen to the whole thing again. So I'm very impressed and very happy that we have a fan base like you guys. And then obviously thanks to Sunny and Natalie and Nate for once again taking time out of their days to do this, because it was extremely fun. And yeah, we're already planning another one. I'm very excited to say that, and they're going to become way more frequent than one every 6 months now. So that's it from me. I'm going to hand you off to the archive of Seren, Sunny, Natalie, and Nate in Treehouse Sessions Volume 1. Well, make sure to follow the Twitch so you don't miss, because we have moderation practices in effect. So, yeah, I'm going to hand you off now. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in about 2 hours and 20 minutes.
It's been forever, I must say. We haven't actually had a huge thing to talk about, especially with new Loud House and Casa Grandes episodes, and a whole lot of cartoons to talk about, too.
Yes.
Yes, it has been a crazy day, I must say, as Loud House fans and
Yes.
Loud House,
Amphibia
fans, Owl House fans.
Oh yeah, it's been a wild day.
Yeah, they waited till today, which I'm both resentful and happy they did, because I had to completely change the plan.
Yeah.
A lot.
Here you got more to talk about on our return debut.
And I'm excited that we're going to be talking about all kinds of animation, because it just gives us more stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
22 people in here. We never had that on YouTube. We should.
I think Twitch has gotten a lot of followers. I mean, I stream games on Twitch, so there's always some random people that come in just to watch just to watch whatever. And I'm pretty happy that we actually have like a good turnout tonight.
Thank you all for joining us. We missed you all. We missed doing this, so thank you.
I think we need to go away for 6 months every time.
We should do it tonight, and then leave, and then we come back, and then we leave and come back, and we leave. It's like a big occasion that we show up every 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I mean, there's a lot to talk about. I don't even know what's first. I think the Loud House episodes with Luna are first. But there's a lot to talk about. Is there anything you guys wanted to say before we jump into it?
I don't think so.
I got nothing to say.
let's do it.
Okay,
I'm
let's do
excited.
it.
Let's get to it. Come on, bring it on.
Okay, first up, the Dad Reputation episode with Luna. Uh, we don't have a set order. We used to have a set order for this. We don't have a set order. Who wants to go first?
I guess I can.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going, let me just start off by saying I was going to rewatch this episode last night, but for some reason my dang on demand on my TV has not been working. So I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, because when this episode came out, it was one of my best friends, her birthday was actually that day. So like I watched this one and the other one and then the special at her house, and like everybody, her and my sisters were like talking the whole time, and I'm just sitting over here like I'm trying to chill out and watch this, please. But anyway, I do remember it. So I really thought it was kind of cool that we got like 2 Luna episodes together, because it's been a long time since she has had an episode, and like since they've been doing this whole music theme, it was perfect for her. And I want to say, like, for the most part, I thought it was a pretty good episode, but I think everybody else will agree with me when I say that the ending was the best part.
Yeah.
That one scene,
Okay.
it was such a tiny little scene, but
Was
it
it-
was so good.
It was a small Saluda moment, but you know what? Any
Yes.
Saluda moment works for us. Anything
Somewhere
that's feature those two.
in Twitch world, Omid is screaming at the top of his lungs,
Oh, you should have
Luna!
seen our review last Thursday. He was screaming on top of the lungs at anything
Yeah,
we
he's
talked
screaming in
about
the
from
chat.
Sam and Luna.
Yeah, like it was such a small thing, but I'm like, finally, it was so cute.
We got back to Luna, especially with the next
Yes.
episode. Oh boy.
Yes.
Oh boy, so good.
Like, yeah, I think for the most part, like, yeah, it was a pretty good episode. Like, yeah, we see all the dads, and we get to finally find out Rusty's dad's name, and then just that one little scene at the end, I was like, oh, perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll go next.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, with Luna episodes, I've never been I've kind of never really been the biggest fan of Luna episodes, because my personal opinion, I feel like she always gets the same episode, like with the music and like some other things. But like when I first heard about this episode, it was kind of make me think back to like season 1 house music, which by the way is the next episode related to the next episode, which is kind of funny. But like with this episode, I was like, well, why is Luna so embarrassed to play with her dad when in house music, you know, she wanted to play with the family, but she was like taking over, being strict and stuff. But then at the end, you know, she played with her family, even though her family's terrible playing music, and included her family. So I don't know why she felt like, oh, well, now I'm playing with my dad's band, which they're also not as good. So why am I embarrassed to play? But I guess it's very understandable and relatable to be embarrassed to play with your parents and or your dad and their band. But you know, I think, you know, it's a really nice episode. It's kind of mostly what I expect from Luna episodes sometimes, but I think it's, you know, a nice episode. But it's hard because I want to talk about the other episodes, but this episode is good too.
So I guess I'll go next on this one. I thought that was actually pretty fun. I mean, yeah, we have never seen a Luna episode in so long that we've been waiting for it for quite a bit, and it's just glad to see that Luna still loves rock and roll. That she's actually helping the dads out, and for the Doodads, the band name that the dads actually came up with. Pretty clever. At the same time, I didn't expect Lynn Sr. to actually meet up with Rusty's dad, so I'm guessing, you know, I'm guessing they met somehow. They didn't actually fill in for the circles on that, but okay, I guess we got some good interaction between Rusty's dad and Lynn Senior. Either way, they did make up a good band, which I thought was pretty cool. Luna helping out, and I understand like Luna's perspective of like why she said that she did want to be a part of the band. Like she's being a part of the band, but at the same time, she wants to like make sure like her reputation doesn't get too embarrassing to say. I'm guessing Luna has a thing where she like gets embarrassed whenever like she has to deal with a dad or something never goes right, and it shows here in this episode. So yeah, she tries her best to hide it. Me and Obito were talking about this in a previous episode. She has a tendency to say no, which is like a flaw for Luna, which shows really well in episodes like this one and the next one also. And it's something that just makes Luna pretty relatable to a couple characters, to a couple people like us to say. Either way, Luna turned out to be having a good. I mean, it was a good episode, no doubt about it. I mean, the last scene was obviously the one that really took everybody's breath, or takes everybody's like perspective away, just because Luna and Sam are obviously they're continuing on with it, and I'm pretty happy with it. And even though it was just only like 5 seconds of that ending, it was still saying something that Luna and Sam are still a good couple, and I'm pretty happy that it happened at the end. But not bad for overall for an episode for Luna and in that reputation.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna point out, so mentioned in the chat. I totally forgot that this is the episode where Luna and Luan finally have good interaction for once in the show. Like I've been waiting for a Luna and Luan episode for years, and the fact that this is like the first time we ever see them actually are like have a good conversation, even though again like Luan was using Mr. Coconuts, which I hate every time she uses Mr. Coconuts. It annoys me. But, like I like that she was actually being like very supportive of Luna and listening to her and them actually having good communication, and even like Luna being like, "Oh, thank you, Mr. C." Like that was cute. Like I want to see a full episode with those two, and like seeing those little moments of them just bonding and comforting each other. Like we need more of that in the show. Like that makes me want a full episode about them.
I was wondering how many times have we asked the Loud House writers to have an interaction episode between Luna and Luan. It's been a while, right? We've never had it. Like, never had it in 5 seasons of the Loud House.
I was like, wait, they're actually interacting in this whole episode?
Luan is helping Luna?
What?
Someone go through all of our podcasts and count how many times we've asked that, please. Your reward is nothing. I mean, I don't have anything else much to add besides the fact that it seems like this night, and because all of us are kind of more antsy to go to the other episode, it seems like the night this aired, they just kind of kept going up in quality.
Quality, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I mean, this episode had its moments, especially at the end. But the next episode, that one in itself is much better in quality. So
yeah.
It's just so
there's a lot of good things from the episode, and besides the Saluda moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, with that in mind, let's go to that other episode, In the Nick of Time.
Yes.
Who wants to start us off with
I
this
want to
one?
say something first about this
Go ahead.
episode.
Go ahead.
Because you all know me, I am the continuity expert of both shows. And this episode did something I never thought the show would do. They did a callback to season 1 and did it right. Loud House. Thank you.
Yes, they
God.
did. Yes.
It took you 5 seasons. You did it. I'm so happy. I can't believe it.
That was crazy because it was like Luna at her first concert, and then so we've seen that flashback twice,
Yep.
and then they still did, and then they did the flashback to
House Music.
It was House Music. I was
House
like,
music.
what? I was like, oh my god. So what's kind of funny about that too is like if this is someone's first time watching this show, they're not gonna understand that. So it's like if you've been here since the beginning, you're like, oh my gosh, I remember this.
Yeah. Yeah, so when I see continuity in the Loud House, like I would say continuity, what's that? was when I see continuity, like continuity in the Loud House. Yes, sir. It actually happened, and I'm very happy. Like they are learning. I'm so happy. I like they did it in the best way possible. I loved it. Like
I'm thinking they're listening to us now. After all of
they
our
are listening.
Council Loud,
Definitely
after all
are.
of our Loud Council Talks and Council Loud chats, are they listening to us now? It feels like it.
Like I would think that like I remember you guys talking about the preview of this episode of your podcast, and Omi was asking for a flashback to her concert, and like the first time she saw Mick in a concert, and they did. So
He answered it like right in the first second.
Yeah, like he really got it right. Like that's amazing. Like so, I feel like they are listening to us, or also they're looking at Casa Grande's how amazing they do their continuity. Or like we gotta pick it up because they're going further than us, and it's like good job, Loud House. I applaud you for doing it. So keep it up. It's great.
Definitely.
But yeah, I would say because I volunteered to go first. Yeah, this is the best episode of these two. Like again, I think this is a really great Luna episode. And again, see that again they're continuing to show her friendship with Nick, and the fact that he remembered her too at the end, where it's like I didn't forget you. I was just trying to find your high school, which is like you didn't put the address on, so I went to every single high school, which is funny. But like and also they brought back Chunk or Chuck. Chunk is it Chunk? Right? Chunk. Yeah, like we thought that he had left after band together, but they brought him back, which was nice to see him and Luna interacting again because it felt like forever. Like band together feels forever ago. So to see that Chunk actually came back and was like hanging out with Luna again, interacting with her was pretty cool to see. And again, like her, trying to dress up as Mick and perform on stage. And again, all the Luna stuff was really cute and stuff. But I really like this episode better than the other one. Not saying that the other episode is bad. I think the episode is good. But this one again with the callback, the flashbacks, the continuation of everything, and again the amazing Luna ending where that all made us scream at the top of our lungs. Me to say so. I agree. It's probably one of the best episodes this season. I agree. Like it's amazing.
Yeah, I would have to admit it too. Definitely one of the best episodes, considering that we get so much like content in this episode. All the flashbacks that tells you like how I like how the setup was, where Luna just talks about how he met up with Mick and how they have that deep connection, and she tells it to her current bandmates, the Moon Goats, and of course they're going to be so amazed with that. And I feel so bad for Luna, considering like in this episode she tried her best to say like Mick can't play, but in the end Mick ended up playing, which it turned out to be a great ending to say, because it tells like, oh, Luna isn't lying, Luna knows Mick, and they're really cool like that, and she turned out to be very popular, and of course impresses Sam as well. There's just awesome. There's just amazing things over there. Yeah, I also do feel about the whole Chunk thing as well. I thought we are going to say goodbye to Chunk after he left for Band Together, that he's going to be stuck with the band that he was with in Band Together, but I'm guessing they took a break, or I'm guessing he was just there for just one gig and then left. Either way, I'm glad to see Chunk again. He was, of course, he's like a roadie to Luna, and yeah, I mean, like, it would have been more significant if he left. But at the same time, we're missing a really awesome character with Chunk, so it makes sense for him to come back. And, hopefully we'll have more episodes with him. And, yeah, I would say, though, that episode overall, no doubt about it, was a great setup. I did love how Luna is being portrayed in this episode, how she has to struggle again after pretty much saying, like, I know Mick at the same time. With all the things that she said about Mick, that everybody's all relying on her, saying that, hey, why don't you bring Mick to the concert? And she has, again, a hard time saying no, which is, again, a little flaw that happens to Luna. And I thought that was, like, another continuity little perspective that tells me that, okay, so Luna has a tough time saying no. Maybe that's something to build up for Luna Loud, especially with the future episodes coming up. And, yeah, I would say it was... I don't have much to say about here, but I would say it was nice to have that. And I have nothing much to say about it. Like I said, overall, really awesome. yeah, no doubt about it. Definitely a good game. Definitely a good episode, especially at the end where we get to have that Saluna moment, telling us that hey, Sam and Luna are still together.
Yes.
Yes.
I think that's kind of my thoughts on it too. Was like, yeah, it was. I think it was better than the first episode, and it was kind of cool to see that like Mick still remembers Luna because she's like such a big fan of him, and now they're kind of like friends. And and then yeah, just the end. But then like the part with like Luna, I mean Sam, where like you could tell she wanted to spend time with Luna at the dance, and like she was so sad because she couldn't find her. So then at the end, whenever they finally got to dance together, I was like, yay! So yeah, I think that's pretty much the same thing. It's just really cute.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you guys kind of covered what I had to say on it as well, because it definitely, no questions asked, it beats the other one by a landslide, and does a lot of stuff that the other one didn't do with Luna, and I just really liked watching it. That's really what it boils down to. It was better than Dad Reputation, and it set the course for a great night. They had a lot of episodes that night. We'll get to the Casa Grandes ones later. But yeah, that's really all I got to say on In the Nick of Time, because you guys covered exactly what I wanted to say too.
I kind of wanted to point out Letty's role in this episode as well. She's the
Oh,
head.
yeah.
She's the head of everything. Is she the head of everything? She's apparently the head of whatever club she was
yeah.
in. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool that like Lenny was playing a part of this episode too. I didn't expect that she was gonna be head of the school dance committee, but that's really cool. Like it shows that Lenny, again, they're doing a lot with her character this season because again, Lori's gone, so like they have to make her kind of the leader now. So seeing that she's doing a lot more stuff and being more proactive is like, you know, she had her job, and then now this season she had like her internship with the mayor, and now she's
Yeah.
head of the dance committee. That's pretty cool. Like,
We said- we-
I like that they're doing about her.
Me and have said this before. What can't she do? Am I right?
Exactly. What would Letty do?
Okay, so on to the next thing. We still have a lot to cover. Oh boy, I forgot this was next. Frankiversary.
What? Hey! Yes!
I knew somebody would think
Donnie
my-
got stuff. Oh, I forgot the lineup. I forgot how the lineup was. I thought we were gonna go for Operation
forgot too.
Popcorn, but no,
I was
we're
like,
going to
Crazy
Frankiversary.
Popcorn. Like, oh no! Why did you save this for the end? I'm here. I'm standing right here, and you're like, I'm gonna do it after the 2 Luna episodes. No, you saved this for the end. I'm here. Oh my gosh!
Too late now.
Get back down now, guys. You can. Nope, you can't leave. I strapped you all to your chairs.
That's why I'll put it in the middle instead. Because one, we had the movie, and two, we have to get through stuff. So we can't take 2 hours long.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and what's funny is like you said earlier, like stuff came out today, so like we kind of have more stuff to talk
Yeah,
about.
more stuff
than
to
what
talk
we did
about.
yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I know who wants to go first with this one.
I think we should probably go first and then let Sunny do her rant.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I
good
will
idea.
last because you
I
know
guess-
how I'm gonna be. I won't stop talking until someone tells me to stop.
Oh man, how can I say this? I have to think about it now because I forgot we have to talk about this. How can I explain this? Well, the first thing that comes up to mind is there's a prankiversary, and I never heard about this. Like Ronnie Ann and Lincoln having their own prankiversary. I'm like, wait, this ever happened in the Loud House? Or I never heard of this in the Casa Grandes before. So this is like a secret thing that Lincoln and Ronnie Ann do, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Now we need to know a little bit. Now we need to know a little bit more about that, please. Maybe another episode of Prankiversary where we get to see, all three of them prank each other, in a fair way this time. Now, it makes sense. Now I understand, like, Lincoln and Ronnie Ann, they do their pranks, and obviously they have this prankiversary. But when Sid comes in, she has her own ways of pranking, but at the same time, it doesn't work out. So it makes sense. So yeah, when you go into a prank war between Roddy and Lincoln, it's going to be between those two. But then another person comes along and starts to mess up stuff. So you get to see Sid pretty much mess up the pranks of Lincoln and Roddy and pretty much had to sit her down and say, "Yeah, this is not for you." And I felt so bad for Sid in that moment, by the way, because it feels like she's trying her best, and then you just see her like her hair all messed up and she's about to leave with her box, and I'm like, oh, this is sad to see Sid go away. Well, either way, both Lincoln and Roddy Ann still ended up like having their own prank war. At the same time, Sid was apparently what was it, eaten by a snake, which obviously which obviously concerned Roddy Ann and Lincoln. I really love the fact that they brought Adelaide over to just say, "Hey, Sid is captured by a snake." So, felt bad for Adelaide because she got pranked, and at the same time had to help Sid get out of a snake. And I really do love the whole setup because when you're watching as a viewer, you're just watching Roddy and Lincoln just continue to help out, trying to get Sid out of the snake, and you're thinking like, oh god, maybe Sid really is in a snake, but when the whole camera turns around and Sid actually was out of the snake, I was like, oh, they pranked us. And that was actually a pretty like cool twist that they did for what the Loud House writers done. It's like, oh yeah, we're setting the audience up for you to see Sid pretty much get eaten by a snake, and it turned out that you were pranked, by the way. So I think Sid did a really good job with it, and of course having Adelaide set up the whole thing was also pretty cool too. And yeah, no doubt about it, I would say she did win the whole prank war. So and no doubt about it, I really love the whole character building with Sid. Yeah, she may have been down by not helping out with the pranks, but she turns out to be a really good prankster as well. And yeah, I would say it was fun all around, and no doubt about it. We were thinking, yeah, it's another Sidonican episode, but I think we're really mostly focused on Sid on this one. And no doubt about it, I think Sid really does take the cake. She did take the episode. I loved it. And now that they have another person who's now in this prank war, I can't wait for the next prankiversary whenever that comes out. But yeah, props up to Sid.
So I think like yeah, this episode along with the zoo episode, I liked how they're finally giving Sid like we're seeing another part to her character besides just being like all happy all the time, because it's like yeah, she's a kid, she makes mistakes, and like yeah, she wants to have fun, but sometimes her ideas are just a little bit too crazy. And that dang snake, though. Like, I remember the preview for that came out, and we thought she actually got eaten by a snake, and I was like, okay. Okay. Like, but, yeah, and just it's always fun seeing Lincoln come back, because it's like, we know that these episodes take place in the same universe, but it's just nice when they remind us that, yeah, these are... like two shows that are basically together. Oh, and then I really liked the stuff with Lincoln and Roddy Ann basically treating Sid like they're disappointed in their child.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
The disappointed Lincoln dad.
The disappointed Lincoln.
Like, yes.
he's
I
just
love
like,
it
so
so
much.
much.
And like I said, I felt so bad for Sid when she had to be confronted by those two. It was like...
Yeah, like this episode and like the emergency, for example, like the scene where Sid's parents are talking about her behind her back and saying how crazy she is. Those two scenes mirror each other so well.
Yeah.
With Sid and like
Yeah.
how people view her. And again, I guess it's my turn unless Nat you have more to say. Oops, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, like I kind of agreed what you guys said. Like it gives Sid more character, so like we know that she does have flaws. Like she's not perfect. She does do crazy stuff that messes up things sometimes. But then she ended up getting her revenge, and then it was funny. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what I had to say. All right, I'm done.
So, prankiversary. Yeah, I'll
Wait, timer.
not go into a whole thing because again we got a lot to say. But if you want to hear me do a full on like Sunny rant about this episode, I did on my podcast, Costa Loud Chats. I did a full analysis of the episode because I broke down everything I wanted to say about it because I really love this episode. I don't know. I think it's way better than Other Mess. I know people said that that was the better episode, but to me, this is the better episode because this is a Sidani Kid episode. Other Mess to me is not a Sidani Kid episode. It is a Rodian episode with Sid and Lincoln included. They only come up together at the end, so it's not really a Sidani Kid episode. Whereas all three are together fully in this episode, but it's also a Sid episode disguise, which you would think that I wouldn't personally enjoy, but I actually really like because again I like that they're fleshing out Sid's character for this season. The Zoo Emergency is such a perfect episode. Obviously, it's amazing. One of my favorite specials. And this episode, with Sid and how she wanted to be included, but then she felt like Ronnie and Lincoln weren't including her. Well, I mean, they really weren't. They were letting her join it. It's just she was messing up the pranks. You can't really blame them for feeling that way. And Sid was, she was just trying to help, and she did feel really bad. And I feel like, she was like, when she went to the zoo, she was like, Roddy and Lincoln think they're pros. Like, she was very, like, I feel like deep down, Sid is kind of jealous of what Roddy and Lincoln have. Because Roddy and Lincoln have been friends longer than she and Roddy and have been. Because, like, with the whole prank-anniversary aspect of this episode, I said on my podcast where I said, the prank-anniversary itself doesn't make a whole lot of sense in the Roddy Kid relationship, because Roddy says they've been doing this every year, which would imply that Roddy and Lincoln have been friends for years, which in the show itself, the canon timeline of how long they've been friends would not make sense whatsoever, because they've only been friends for like 2 years, like 1.5/2 years. So if Roddy would have said, we're sorry to do this every year, would make more sense than say we do this every year, which makes no sense in the context. But to me, it's like, oh, you can put the pieces together that they do it off screen, and that's fine, I guess. But like, I love everything about Roddy and Lincoln in this episode, like them, like the beginning parts where they prank each other and they're all like sassy of each other, like the floorboard trick. What is this, amateur hour? But I wish we could have seen more of that in the episode, like them being snarky at each other. Like they've done this all the time where they act like this during the prank-anniversary. I wish we could have seen more of that than what we got in the episode where they were just staring at each other and Sergio's like, I'm just a prank war, not a prank snore. I'm like, yeah, like where's the pranking, But but to wrap it all up, like you would think I wouldn't really like this episode, but to me it's kind of I call it a beautiful disaster because I think it's so great, but there's so many things about it where I would have problems with it, but I let it slide because it's such a great episode. Because again, like I like the Roddy Kid stuff, I like the Sidani Kid stuff, I like the Sid focus, and I like Adelaide working with Sid, and I want to see a sequel episode of this episode. But again, if you want to listen to me like talk about everything about this episode where I just like dissect it into like a sponge, then you listen to my podcast, and I want to keep this very long for me. But yeah, no, I love this episode. I think it's great. And I also want to say just real quick that I really like that the Casa Grandes lets Lincoln come back into the show like this, because like in this episode they don't even explain how Lincoln shows up. Like in Horoscope, his mother brings him there, but when he shows up here, he's just there. He's like, hey, Ardian. It's like, how did you get here? Like he just shows up at the door. But it's like Casa Grande's just decided, like Loud House, for example, they don't want to let Roddy come into the show at all, or just one cameo per season. Whereas Casa Grande's just grab Lincoln like, yoink, he's mine. Like we'll bring him in more often than you guys, but Roddy in, So I think it's really cool they just let Lincoln come in the show. They don't need to explain it. It's like, yes, we need to, like, Lincoln has a friendship with Roddy, and that's very important, and all three of them can have a three-way friendship, which I absolutely love. So yeah, I think this episode is really great. It's like, to me, it's not a perfect episode. I think it's really fun. It doesn't beat Horoscope for me, because the Horoscope is still perfect, but I would rank it as, like, with the Sidani Kid saga, it's like Horoscope, Prankiversary, and Other Mess on the bottom. Just because I like Other Mess being the bisexual Roddy End episode, but it's not a strong episode like Prankiversary and Horoscope are for me. So yeah, no, I love this episode. It's great. It's wonderful. I love it.
I'm surprised at the self-control of keeping that under 5 minutes.
I can do it because I didn't want. I wanted to try to control myself. But yeah, like Vince is saying in the chat, I like other mess is the Roddy and focus episode of Sonati Kid, and this episode was Sid with Sonati Kid. So I feel like the next Sonati Kid episode needs to focus on Lincoln to complete the saga. Like you need to have that focus on Lincoln with I don't know like. They left out of the Sonati version.
That would make more sense. And another thing I also do want to point out, Lincoln has visited Great Lake City for so long. Why can't Ronnie Ann?
I don't know. The Loud House is around for some reason. Like Lincoln, like it's like a gate.
Oh, no.
It's like the Casa Grandes. They open the gate for Lincoln, but the Loud House they keep Ronnie Ann out for some reason. Like let her in. Let her in! Come on!
Is that one meme? Let me in! Let me in!
She's gonna be in the movie, but I want to see her! Trailers? Where is she? Like, come on!
The same thing would go to Bobby, too, so it's a big mystery for the movie with Ronnie Ann and Bobby being in the list.
Lori name dropped Bobby because of course she did, but like, where is the Ronnie Ann? Come on! I'm waiting! But like, same thing, Loud House. Stop reducing her to one cameo per season. Let her come in like twice would be nice. That's fine. Not once, twice would be good. Maybe even 3 times. Maybe 4. Maybe 7. I don't know. Do something, Loud House. Because the Grande is letting Lincoln come whenever he can. Because I don't know. Miguel said, "Here you go." Because I love Miguel. He's great.
I like the 7. I like the 7 proposal.
Or 9. Or 100.
Yeah.
Or more.
Or more. or even more than that. I don't know. What's the cutoff?
I'd say 52 is the cutoff per season.
Okay, 52 then.
And then
she needs to come in every single moment in season 6. Then it'll be 52.
And then if there's a season 7, 52 then. Wouldn't hurt.
Then season 8, season 9, season 10. Then there's more. Then season 5 of the spin-off.
There should be at least a special with Ronnie Ann in one of them in the Loud House.
Oh my god! I mean, like we had Loud Thanksgiving and Curse, but if they do another Loud Thanksgiving though, like that would be amazing. I mean, Curse was amazing, but like if they do another one, like yes, I would love that.
This time actually have a Christmas special. This time around with the Casa Grande's going to the Loud House and make it better than what happened over at Fair Casa Grande's Christmas.
Hey, I still stand up for the Linking line, okay? I got that victory.
Like it was only 30 seconds. I was like, come on.
I know. I wish they could have interacted with them, but the fact that Lincoln Lee said something is like my victory. And this episode is my victory. Like, yeah. Well, no, it's Seren's victory because he got it on his birthday, so he deserves it more.
He deserves that one, yeah.
Yes, he deserves this one for now. With all your Carl episodes, Seren. No, just kidding.
Yeah, those are later. There's a lot of those later. Yeah, it's a birthday episode. It's perfect. That's where I'm gonna leave it because you guys kind of covered everything else. It is absolutely positively perfect. Okay, so as we've dished out before, the movie stuff coming out, the Amphibia stuff coming out, the Owl House stuff coming out, and the Molly McGee stuff for that matter, changed completely how I had to plan this for tonight. So, next up, Operation Popstar.
Yeah.
Woo!
Happy
Colby,
that I am back.
Colby, you might want to mute now.
God.
Yeah, Kobe,
Wait.
you'll need to leave the chat for now.
Oh, that's right, because you haven't seen it yet.
You're a buzzkill.
Okay, he's gonna mute. Okay.
He's gonna mute. Yeah, what to tell once we're done.
Yeah. This was good. Oh god, it was good. I guess I'll start it.
Alright.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nate, go ahead.
Okay, so first off, I was imagining this to be a Carlota episode, considering that Alicia was going to be in it, and yeah, no doubt about it, this was a Carlota Alicia episode. But we have been waiting so long to have a Carlota episode that's actually very impactful, Like, we may be saying that VIP could be that episode, but then look at the other Carlota episodes that came around. We've seen that in, was it Break for the Memories? Thought that was okay. What was it? Undivided Attention. That one was of an episode. But then you also saw Babysitter, and I thought that was pretty cool, but that was kind of more like Carlota and Bobby having their own episode there. And interacting as cousins, which is pretty cool. But no doubt about it. I mean, Carlota definitely was the main focus in this episode, and I really do love how Carlota is pretty much like a big sister to Alicia. Like, it was weird because like after VIP, they pretty much continued on with VIP. So again, continuing doing well with for the Casa Grandes. So I'm loving that. Alicia knows Carlota from what happened to VIP. She's pretty much the makeup person to go to now for Alicia. So what I love about this though is that we can understand how a pop star is very how do you say this? Very busy with a lot of things in line. So it made sense for Carlota to just say, "Hey, just go back to my house, and we'll go and give you whatever you want, like a homecoming to say, just to pretty much feel like home." And they pretty much did deal with that with her favorite foods, playing with the Casa Grandes, the cousins, and everything. And I thought that was really awesome to see, considering Carlota's just being very impactful to Alicia, and then it was actually very, very impactful that she actually thought about quitting, and the plan for Carlota to actually become the best friend of a pop star turned out to fail. And then this whole stuff happens where Carlota and Carl team up together to get Alicia back to pop star life instead of a regular life. Eventually Alicia would find out about it, and I love how Alicia just went down to Carlota and said "Why would you do this? Because I thought we were sisters and things like that. I thought you were okay with my decision." And then she ended up not being her best friend anymore. I thought was "Oh man, you really did so hard on Carlota." And then what I loved in the next scene though was that Carlota was standing up to Blaze, telling her that Alicia doesn't need this much work. It's a good thing that Alicia quit, etc., etc. And no doubt about it, when Alicia heard about it, it just tells me that look, Carlota absolutely stands up for Alicia and stands up for her best friend. And I thought this was maybe her most impactful episode or most impactful moment for Carlota, because look, throughout the Casa Grande, have you ever seen anything that can impact Carlota a whole lot? And this episode, you could say this, most of this episode pretty much entirely definitely really does help Carlota's character in a sense. And I'm really happy that they're finally focusing on Carlota, giving her some spotlight, and just being, this great character that she is. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. And no doubt about it, this definitely was a very impactful episode for Carlota, for a pop star with Alicia. And I believe if we're gonna continue on with episodes for Carlota, I'm pretty sure Alicia would be a very impactful part with her. So, but we can see the trend for Carlota. She's really going to be the influencer person, be on her phone, take photos, be in videos. You saw that in Babysitter. So you know that Carlota is going to probably be going that route to be that influencer that she plans to be. For the side story, on the other hand, with Ronnie Ann and Sid, and Yun Kwan and 12 is Midnight, we talked about this on our Casa Talks mini episode, and we thought that was the okay of a part. I really do like. I mean, not gonna lie though, I really do love the Sidani moments that was happening there, because they both were fangasming over Yun Kwan. But I really do hate the fact that Yun Kwan got amnesia, and that the way that he got his memory back was singing, and I'm oh, this is a cop out, is it? I was kind of not okay with that. But you know what? Ron and Sid did have their moments. Mostly Sid, by the way. Sid definitely is a huge fan of Yun Kwan, and this episode totally makes it impactful. That Sid
stretching it. See that pictures he had of her Yun Kwan? This hasn't happened yet. Sid, calm down, sweetie. Calm down. Chill, that girl.
Although this kind of tells you that Sid, but I don't know. I think Sid reflects how a K-pop fan is supposed to be, but maybe a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Oh my god! When she was describing the K-pop the group members. She was like, this is the one that acts like the mom, and this one likes buddies, and this one is like, I don't know. And I'm like, this is a K-pop stan. Like
Yeah.
that's the dad. Like what?
But yeah, I mean, Sid is way too obsessed, and you totally see that in the side plot with Ronnie and Sid. But in the end, though, I mean, they did have an impactful song, "I'm Back," which you heard at the beginning of this stream. It was absolutely a hit. I'm so glad that they actually put it on Spotify or Apple Music, because I'm listening to that song whenever. So literally, I had like a whole day just driving, and then I literally put it on repeat for like the whole drive, and that's pretty much like stuck in my head now. I'm back. Yeah, and then also was an Ali Brooks song. Thank You was also really a good song as well. Not gonna lie, like the songs are great. Please give me a freaking Casa Grande's album, please, because I really would be jamming to that thing, no doubt about it. And if they're gonna continue putting on music like this, yes, please make an album, because no doubt about it, I'll put it on repeat for who knows how long.
Why did they release the Fruit Shake full version? Like,
I'm mad about that.
Remix. They didn't release that. Yeah, I want that
song. I want that song.
There isn't Nickelodeon. Come on.
I really want that song too. But no, nothing. But yeah, like I said, this was I would say out of all the specials all the specials that came out from the Casa Grandes, Zoomergency is really, really close there. But I have to say, Operation Popstar definitely tops it, and it really was a really good episode. With the music, with the portrayal in this episode, you may roll out the Ronnie and Sid moment that's been happening in that episode, but to say the least, I loved it. It was really awesome. Definitely a great episode for Operation Popstar.
It's a couple of things I want to add. One, this is my favorite special for the show so far. Second,
whoa,
yes,
yeah,
wow, okay,
yeah,
even with Zoomergency,
yeah. And second of all, the cop-out to me was, and this does not really change my opinion of it, the cop-out to me was the rest of 12 is Midnight saying, oh yeah, Yoon's like this all the time. He does this all the time.
Yeah, see? That's what I'm saying.
No, I think that's very funny, because again, they're pop stars. And this probably happens all the time with creepy fangirls, like trying to get to them or knocking them out or doing anything weird to get them back. And it's like, oh, this is like the singing part though. That was kind of although Ronnie calls it out, which is funny. She's like, wait, all we had to do was sing to him? Like, yeah,
right.
Weird.
That was so weird, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's only like 12 is Midnight that can sing to Yoon Kwan or something.
Yeah,
maybe. But that wasn't really fleshed out enough. And I think that's my biggest problem with it. They didn't spend enough time with it. They had plenty of time, but they didn't. And the third thing... Oh, what?
Go ahead.
The third thing is, since this show started, I had never heard of Ally Brooke. But now I seek out everything she does, so... She's got a fan in me now.
I've listened to some of her, like I used to listen to Fifth Harmony when she was with them, and then when she became a soloist, I looked up some of her songs, and I showed Sunny some of her songs too, and she is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I remember Nat tagging me in some, and then I think Nickelodeon, they made a playlist for like Hispanic Heritage Month, and one of her songs was in the playlist, and I immediately automatically like added it to my Roddy Kid playlist. So every time I listen to that song, I just think of Roddy Kid. So like I've actually been listening to a bunch of her songs, even stuff from Fifth Harmony, and like her as Alyssa is amazing. Like I love that song, Thank You, and just her on I'm Back, and the theme song, of course. Like she's amazing.
I play some of her stuff, but most of it is on labels that don't like us, so...
Yeah. And some of it is not kid-friendly either.
Yeah, that's true.
She has this one song that's in... it's like in Spanglish. It's like English and Spanish, and it's like... The Spanish lyrics in it are kind of dirty.
Wait, are you talking about 500 Verses? Is that the one?
500 Besses, 500 times.
That's the one I put in my Roddy Kid playlist.
So it's not like sexual or anything. It just says like, "I want you to kiss me 500 times" or something
Yeah.
like that.
I literally thought Roddy Kid. I put it in the playlist. I didn't know it was kind of, dirty.
No, it's not like sexual dirty. It's just like more like PG-13, I guess.
Nickelodeon, you put that in your playlist. Someone needs to tell you what that
it's
song's
mostly
really about.
It's mostly the Spanish part. Like the English part is fine, but it's like with Despacito, like nobody knew that song was about sexual things until everybody was like, "Oh, look at the Spanish lyrics."
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all over like movies and
Yeah.
stuff right now.
Yeah.
I mean, like a few years ago, Nickelodeon at the Kids' Choice Awards, one of their nominated songs was an Ariana Grande song called I think it was Side to Side, and that song is really dirty. And I'm like, there's
Ooh.
kids listening to that?
Yeah.
I mean, these kids of this generation are listening to songs on TikTok, so what
I
do they need to say
That's
now?
true. That's true.
I mean,
Don't
but
get me
really,
started.
Like when I was a kid, though, I listened to Britney Spears, and a lot of her songs are really dirty. I just didn't
Yeah.
understand it when I was a kid, so I guess it's fine.
Or Backstreet Boys or Big Time Rush, who's coming back this year.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm so
Big Time
hyped.
Rush.
It's Bobby.
Bobby's
It's
back.
it's
Bobby's
BA.
back. The real voice of Bobby
Yes.
is back. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yes.
It kind of sucks. It kind of sucks. They only have 2 shows because it's in New York and Chicago, I believe.
Yeah.
Dang.
I hope
Yeah.
so, like record it or
I'm
something.
surprised
so people
they
can see
did.
it.
I'm surprised they didn't do any West Coast ones.
I'm surprised too. I would love
I
to
am
go to a
too.
San Francisco or
it is
LA
a-
show.
Maybe it's just a test to see if people want to see
That's
more
true.
content with that.
And that could be true. Yeah.
I think that's a
Yeah.
resounding yes from what I've seen online.
Yeah.
But yeah, as for the episode, like I mentioned earlier with the other two, I watched this one when I was at one of my best friend's house, and like my sisters were there with me. And what was kind of funny was like one of my youngest sister, she is a huge K-pop fan. Like I'm surprised she's not blasting it right now. But she was kind of like, I don't want to say criticizing, but she was like judging the K-pop group, and she was like, "They don't look Korean. That's not a K-pop group."
Oh my god.
And she was, and
Yeah.
then, like when the song came on, she was like, "That doesn't sound like K-pop. Why are they singing in English?"
Yeah, it's like, oh
there's
my
no
god.
K-pop
Some K-pop
singers
songs are English.
Sing
Some
in
K-pop,
English? Wait.
some K-pop songs are
Don't they sing in
English. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, some
Look
of
at
them are
Dynamite.
like BTS literally just came out with 2 new English songs.
Exactly. Oh
I mean,
my
literally,
god.
their biggest song is in English. Like, that's all I know about K-pop. Is
Yeah.
BTS.
Yeah, and it's like but I told her, I was like, I'm like, he's voiced by an actual Korean man. But yeah, it was kind of funny, but I don't know, like I know they released that song, the 2 songs from this one, and then the song that Mick sings. They released those before the episodes actually came out, like earlier that day.
Yeah.
And so like I listened to it and I was like, legit, if you did not tell me that this was from a cartoon, I would have thought that Ally Brooke did a collab with a K-pop group.
Mhm.
Oh,
That's what it-
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Because I'm like, that sounded like something they would play on the radio.
I don't
And
know.
even without context, it still just sounds like a song you can listen to anytime.
Yeah. I don't know who
Yeah.
produced it or who wrote it. I need to look at the Spotify credit, but you deserve a medal
Yes, it is so
Absolutely.
good.
Oh yeah.
for making a cartoon song not sound anything like it belongs or is in a cartoon. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, and like I've mentioned before, like I'm more of a J-pop fan, but I did get into K-pop before J-pop, and so I'm like, yes, it really does have like that influence. And like a lot of people don't know that K-pop was actually influenced by American pop music, or like just Western pop music in general, but mostly American pop and Japanese pop. So it's kind of like a mix of both. So it's got like that. It's like this. I think that's why it's so popular over here, is because it's got that sound that Americans are used to, but then it's in another language so Koreans understand it. That's basically what it is. But then it involves like the Japanese part comes in with like how they're idols and like they dance with all of their songs and stuff. And so, because some K-pop artists they do Japanese too, and then some they do English. So some do Chinese too. Like they kind of do a little bit of everything.
Right.
So, yeah, I think every time there's like an episode with K-pop, I'm always the one who has to talk about it. But yeah, as for the episode itself, I think you guys like like I said before with the other ones, like I think you guys kind of covered everything. Like the stuff with Rodian and Sid, I thought was really funny because I was like, yeah, some people might think it's cringy, but at the same time, we were all like, well, we were all their age at one time, and we all had like these crazy obsessions, and even nowadays, I think most of us here, we probably have cartoon characters where, like, if they were real, we would probably be like, "Oh my god, look who it is! It's them!" Ah! So, I don't know.
That was me. That was me watching the Mercado show for the Casa Grandes. Why aren't you real?
Yeah.
Why couldn't I get a snack ticket?
Yeah. So basically, yeah, like I think they basically represent like, you know, what it's like to be a younger kid or like a preteen who's obsessed with stuff. But even then as an adult, there's some people who are like, oh my god, crazy. Like they're crazy everywhere. And like the K-pop stuff, that was very accurate because I have seen like videos of like the K-pop groups whenever they would come to the US or like any other country, and there would be crowds of people waiting for them at the airport. Like they would be they have to push through, like they get the security guards to like push through the crowd because there's just girls trying to jump on them and stuff. Like it gets crazy. And then the stuff, and then like the stuff with Carlota and Elisa, I thought that was kind of cool, especially because it kind of mirrors the previous episode with or that aired like the Mick and Luna one, because it's like, oh, they both have friends who are celebrities, so that's pretty cool.
All right, so I'll go. Operation Popstar. What's funny is I actually think that the Carlota stuff is probably my favorite part of the episode compared to the Sid and Roddy and stuff, because like, not to be this person, but the Sid and Roddy and stuff really creep me out because I don't like Sid. We obviously see that Sid is a huge fan of 12 is Midnight. She can get crazy and stuff, but I don't want Roddy and being a creepy fangirl. No. It does not work for her. Like, her and Sid just be all creepy, like them like sighing at you, Quad, and my girls go up into the vent to stalk 12 is Midnight, and they're like giggling creepily, and they're like, I mean, like, come on, like that's no, like that was weird. Like, I'm probably the only person there, but like we had that episode of Saving Face where the girls learned they shouldn't be breaking and entering to people's houses, but then they like just break into the vent and just stalk 12 is Midnight. It's like my girls, like it was funny though. Like there was that one scene where they were convincing Carlota to go to the hotel where 12 is Midnight was staying, and so like Ronnie turns to Sid is like, let's go, return the key in quotation, like girl, chill. Like, oh god. Like, I'm saying this as if I like don't want to talk about this stuff, but I don't. But like, I'm just getting out of the way. Yeah, like the Sid and Roddy stuff was fine. I feel like their subplot wasn't amazing, but I still think it was pretty funny just because I like the ending where they were saying how like, oh, this happens all the time to you, Quad, because you get it. They're K-pop fan. They have fans, crazy fangirls who go nuts over them. I'm sure this isn't the first time that Yuqua's been hit on the head. Two fangirls have like tried to kidnap him or something and try to like hang out with him or something. I'm sure it happens all the time. So that was funny. It also gets Sid when Sid had the PowerPoint and talking about 12 is Midnight. Like that's literally me on this podcast right now. I make you guys sit down and listen to me talk and That's funny. But yeah, the Carlota stuff I felt was the stronger part of the episode because obviously it's the focus. And I like that she and Alyssa have the strong relationship because after, again, Casagrandes with their great continuity, after VIP'd, Alyssa remembered that Carlota did her makeup for her and now she wants to do it again. But Alyssa and Carlota, like, they bond over being close and they start becoming best friends. And I like Carlota standing up for Alyssa to her, I guess, her manager or something. And Alyssa, really being very grateful for that. Like, I like that. Like, because again, I was really, like, I've been wanting to see Carlota get more focus in the show and do more than what they had done with her in the past. And, like, attention to, like, undivided attention wasn't, like, the great start, but then, like, maybe Babysitter was wonderful. I was like, yes, this is the Carlota focus I want. And then this episode was like, yes, this is what you should be doing with Carlota. Like, keep going with this, like, fleshing around and making her interesting and having these interesting relationships and conflicts. Like, I like this stuff. And, like, her, like, trashing Alyssa's apartment gave me a lot of Friended vibes. Like, they legit just took the whole plot of Friended where Radia was trashing the apartment to have the Chang stay, with her trashing the apartment just so Alyssa could leave. Like, kind of remind me of that. But no, it's not like my favorite special, but it's a very good one just because the songs are great and I like the Carlota stuff. But as I think it was Nate who posted about on Twitter, the Casagrandes hasn't had a bad special. Although Operation Dad,
Yeah,
maybe, that's my opinion, but and like whatever, and all of the mixed opinions of Curse, Curse is perfect in every possible way. Y'all are wrong. No, just kidding. But I think I'm sorry, I love Curse, my favorite special. But like, I think Casagrandes, like this season, they had 3 specials and they were all amazing. Well, I mean, Casa Christmas, but I think all of them are great, and they knocked it out of the park. Not a single bad special at all in the show. I think that's great. Don't make a bad special, but I'm saying with every special they've done with Casagrandes, not a single one I think is bad. They all have great qualities to them. So I don't know. I say their specials are always great, no matter if I'm like, this is all right, not amazing, but we had Zoomergency this season, which knocked every special out of the park. So I don't know. They could have made this one better, but I still liked it. I don't know. I think it's better than Operation Dad, but I still think it's pretty good because the songs are great.
Definitely.
I think they've learned from their first special that they knew, it was a mistake to actually bring Arturo back to the Great Lake City. So they've learned. I think they learned a lesson after that.
Yeah, because they don't do anything with Arturo except stick him in the back of the fruit shake music video, which was so random. It's like, Arturo exists.
He wasn't even in the back video. He wasn't even in the back video.
In that episode. It's like, why are you here? You weren't even in that episode.
It's like how in Really Loud Music they just randomly had the Casagrandes dancing there.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I thought that they were gonna put in a Loud cameo just because they put the Casagrande cameo in Really Loud Music, since this was their musical special. I was hoping for it. I was waiting for it. No. Well, okay, maybe next time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean they can. Yeah, this was a musical special in a lot of ways, but I think they can actually do a Really Loud Music-esque special with everyone getting their own song in some way, shape, or form. They need to.
I was just thinking that.
Really Loud Music to me isn't one of my favorite episodes. Oh no, Omi's gonna hate me for saying this, but oh no, are you here?
I'm here as well.
He's ready to type. I know it.
Like, the reason I don't really I like the Luna stuff about the episode, but as a musical episode, it's not really a musical episode because they give the Lau family the same song as in one sequence with all of them singing the exact same thing, and then that's it. Then Luna gets all the songs. It's not really a musical. Same thing here. It's not really a musical episode. Alyssa gets the song. 12 is Midnight gets the song with Alyssa, but the other characters don't sing. they don't get a song. So
Lucy
we really
didn't
need.
sing at all.
No, she only just said
Well,
stuff.
no,
She only
she
said
just kinda
stuff. That's it.
talked,
Yeah.
Lucy didn't even talk.
Well, I hear the movie is gonna be a musical, and when we saw
Yeah.
Lincoln
I mean,
singing,
we heard-
I cried my eyes
we heard
out.
him. We heard him sing. We heard him sing in that little preview. So
Yes, so Casa Grandes, when are you gonna have Ronnie Yen sing instead in the actual show, not rapping in the intro, singing? Thank you. I want a real musical episode, not 2 songs that aren't sung by the actual characters.
All right. I think we've tortured Colby enough.
yeah.
This just happened to be our longest segment, so
I think when you switch the slide, he'll come back and unmute
Yeah.
himself.
all right. We're gonna move on to the first 2 shorts now. I'm back and do the fruit shake, and then something big, then the other 2 shorts. We're gonna split them up. So I feel like
Okay.
these won't take very long because they're just they're shorts. Who wants to go first? We saw this I'm back short at the beginning of the stream.
I don't think there's any more to say about it since we talked about the special. It's just an extended
Yeah.
version of it.
Yeah.
Which is
It's an
great.
extended version. It's an extended version, but it makes me feel like I want to be a member of 12 is Midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to cosplay you in quad. SCCC 2022. Hopefully you see me there.
We can.
I mean, in that case, do you just want to go on to the other one?
Oh my god, I bet Seren, you and I could geek out over this one because I
Yeah.
love doing the fruit shake so
Yeah.
much. I love
Wait,
it so
before
much.
before you go to the next one.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me see. Hold on. I'm feeling good, boy, beat, and happy that I am back. There you
Come
go.
back.
I am fire. Yeah. Wait, this tells me I need to listen. This tells me I need to listen a whole lot more because I have to memorize the lyrics.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
when
had
we
to
were
watch it. I had to watch it with subs on last night because I could not understand what he says after that. And he says, I'm feeling good, muy bien. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't know it was Spanish. I thought it was like
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
good
Spanish,
boy
yeah.
bien. Oh, I didn't know it was
I
Spanish.
I didn't know what he was saying. So last night when I rewatched it, I put the subs on and I was like, oh, that's what he says.
I at first thought he
Yeah.
said, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling. Like he said, I'm feeling again. That's what I thought he said.
I thought
Yeah.
I'm beat. I thought I'm beat or something like that, and happy that I
Yeah.
am back or something like that. More beat,
Yeah.
maybe more beat. Yeah, maybe that's what I've heard. But
And
yeah, a little bit
there's-
confusing. But go ahead.
There's like another Spanish part in that song too, but I can't remember what it is now. But yeah, all right, and then we can go to the next one if y'all want to.
There's only
just
one.
wanted
There's
to
only,
say
there's
that.
only one thing I want to put up on this. I think this is really a motivational song for anybody who's like feeling down, because the fact that I'm
yeah.
back. If you listen to
Yeah.
the lyrics, it really does have a deep meaning to it.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I loved it. Like, it's a K-pop beat. You have Alicia, who was down and then got back up, and now she's back as a pop star. That also was the point of the song too, which I thought was like, and the fact that like in the music video itself, there's like them dancing and them in synchronization and everything, and like, okay, this is amazing. And the Casa Grandes dancing themselves, I thought that was cute too.
Yeah, that was adorable.
Ronnie and Sid dancing, yeah, that
So
was
cute, yeah.
Donnie moments there.
I just like that I can this song is a BPM I can use it as a loop. Some of the clips as loops and stuff. It just makes me so happy. All right, so on to the next thing. Do the fruit shake.
Oh yes.
Oh man!
I finally have something positive to say about Carl on the show.
Oh,
Finally.
you say that in front of me.
Positive. Wait, you have never had anything positive with Carl? Nothing.
Recently, as of this time of the show where Carl has 20 episodes, not exactly positive. But this, I have to cheer on my boy Seren. I think this was like, okay, so I've been kind of again negative on the Carl episodes, but watching this short, I was like, now I remember why I like Carl, because like this blew my mind. Like I wasn't expecting this to be as incredible as it was, but Alex is like a queen for doing this as
Yes.
Carl. Like the rapping he does is incredible in this. The visuals are amazing. The animation just stellar. Like the colors, the vibrant colors of this whole thing. The dancing stuff is great. Like I just love the little dances they do. They remember Arturo for some reason. I don't know why he's there. Why is Arturo there? I don't know. Cool that he's there. Like oh, Arturo, he exists. So, but yeah, like Carl is just amazing in this. Like I want this released. Like I love everything about the rapping stuff with Carl. Like I went to Seren after the short. I'm like, dude, that was amazing. Like your boy was amazing. Like I just loved it. I was like, dang, remember why I like Carl because he's so cool. Like I don't know. I just this like I liked the I'm Back music video, but after this, I was like, I had tears in my eyes after this. I was like, dude, like Casa Grande's just took what could have been like just a simple short, but they blew it away. They upped themselves up from one to the other, and it impressed me so much. Like there's just so much going on in this one little short with all the visuals around Carl and like the characters dancing and stuff, and the dancing is great. Like I can't praise it enough. I've watched it like 7 times since like we just started. Like I was watching in the background as I was drawing because I don't know, this puts a smile on my face. Like the song itself and like the visuals and everything about it makes me happy. It's just so uplifting and fun. And again, like it made me realize why I liked Carl in the first place instead of being negative about him being like so many episodes. I was like, it's like, man, like Carl, great. Like I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I don't know. I'm just going like I think I'll just say I loved it. I wanted to keep going, but I stopped.
First of all, this for me. First of all, I have to get this out of the way. The key change is in the last chorus. Perfect. As a geek in this type of stuff, the key change that they took, perfect. Second of all, the way the song is, I have to go this analytical. The way the song is produced, it sounds like when I was first getting into the type of music I listen to now in like 2013-ish. It sounds just like that, and it brings me back to those times, and it makes me so happy. And the music video, I can't say anything, but I was speechless. I didn't even know this was going to happen. I didn't look at the synopsis for what the shorts were, so I went into this completely blind, which I'm very glad I did, because this was like peak everything. I was so happy to get this.
Listen to it again because I don't remember most of it, but I was like, oh, this is a bop. Yeah, I'm mad that they didn't put it on Spotify either. They did?
God, I really hope they did it. They did. No, it's not on Spotify, I think.
They didn't.
No, they did upload it to IGTV. Like the short itself, but not the song.
I'm thinking, where's the song? Because they only put what was it, Double Duty from the Loud House episode, and I'm back and thank you. I didn't hear Do the Fruit Shake because it was a good bop though. Ugh.
Yeah, we need to petition and tell Nickelodeon we need this release. Like it's a full
Cosmic...
remix.
Yeah.
Like you need to release it.
Yeah.
And I didn't know they were. Well, first off, I didn't know they were going to continue on from the Do the Fruit Shake episode, because Do the Fruit Shake episode was absolutely great.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't know they were actually going to make a music video out of it. Either way, like it was great to hear like the old '70s vibe with the tropical fruits putting their song first.
Yeah.
And of course the remix part 2 with Carl doing the DJ work. I mean, like you could hear the mix of the '70s song plus DJ's mixes as well, plus Carl's rap. I mean, come on, man, this is great. Yeah. Plus, like, shout outs to Alex, because she turned out to be a really good rapper for a very young character like Carl. It was, like, really vibey. Like, from the whole entire song, like, I've been vibing through it the whole time. Every time I hear it, it's like a headbanger to say.
Yeah.
It's really fun. It was a really fun song. And I really wish they put it on like Apple Music, for example, because I would like do the same
Yes.
thing they can do without
Yeah.
back.
Oh yeah, it would be at the top of my Spotify top plays right now.
And I didn't want to point this out, but the young tropical fruits, I really wish we actually did have like, yeah, I know we had a flashback and do the fruit shake, but it'd be cool if we actually did have like full music video with them or something, because I think there would be a really cool thing to see, like Maybell and the rest of the fruits, do their whole concert with the song, because it's amazing.
They kind of remind me of TLC, like, you know that group?
Yeah.
That's who they make me think of. Either them or like Destiny's Child or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
One thing I do want to say before we move on, though, in regards to the episode, and I said this in an episode on my podcast, I wish that getting rights to songs was as easy as they made it in that episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
It made me
Signing a
hurt how
contract,
easy it
it's
was.
not easy.
And
I wish you could imagine if you could just like email an artist and be like, "Hey, can I do a cover of your song?"
I wish it was easier than that. It would have been...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Just sign right here. There you go.
Instead of like having Carl just go through each member of the tropical fruits and just get them to sign something. Yeah, much easier than right now what we're doing with trying to get music.
Yeah, but in real life, you have to like. Don't you have to like buy the license for it or something? And that's
something like that.
That's like a few $1,000s.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, for example, it took a group called Above and Beyond 8 years to get rights to Blue Monday by New Order to do a cover on it.
My gosh.
It was crazy. I was around the entire time they were trying to. It was crazy to watch it. Because they kept playing it out live, and it, like, oh, we're going to release it. Nope. Didn't get released till January of last year.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, yes. I don't know if I said it, but I was thinking about the episode itself, which how they only had a little bit of the song, and I'm like, thinking to myself or saying like, if they would have just not done the short, but had this in the actual episode, like this would have been in the actual episode as not just a short, but like a music video in the episode, I would give that episode 10 out of 10 just because this blew me away. Like, I don't like the episode to me is fine, but this makes it better than the actual episode, and that's impressive. If you can make it like short more than the actual episode, which is weird, but yeah, the episode itself is like okay, but this like you destroyed the actual episode by making it better.
Yeah.
Don't know how they did it, but props to them. Props to everyone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So we're gonna move on to something pretty big. This was where I kind of had to start shifting everything, so it's gonna be a little weird in terms of order, but Loud House movie time.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh yes! Oh, let's have to hype us up.
Oh,
That's
god.
actually the wrong slide.
Let's have to hype us up. Here we go.
That's
Oh
actually the wrong
my
slide.
god.
'Cause I had to
Look,
update the slide.
If you thought me talking about Prankiversary was gonna be long, well,
Oh no.
ladies and gentlemen, you all know what the movie's really about.
I'm gonna say.
Wait,
I'm gonna say.
Wait,
I'm
I
gonna
don't
say
have the
this.
Lincoln icon. I can't represent him right now. I don't have the Lincoln icon.
I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say this though. We've been treated really well this weekend.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh, they've been feeding us, man. It's so
I thought
great.
they said they were gonna release something on Sunday, but today I guess was
They released
today.
the trailer early, which is impressive.
I
was
guess
prepared
they
to
really
wait
want. They
till
know us.
later.
They were anticipating this.
They knew we were doing this tonight.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh, where do we even start? There's like so many clips to talk
so
about.
let's-
I could
okay, let's-
talk
let's-
about
I
that
have to say,
Lincoln for days. Like,
okay, let's start with that. Let's start off with that because
oh
I
my
mean, like,
god, I could
Lincoln.
talk about
Look,
that for
Asher
days.
Bishop is a great Lincoln, and I mean the
Oh
song is
my
absolutely
God.
amazing. Just even if it was only 30 seconds long, it's still good. Like,
Yeah, like the fact that this season Asher is Lincoln and he's gotten to sing in the show a bunch of times is like I've been dreaming about this for 5 seasons. Of course, like I said, I'm a
Yes.
huge musical fan, and anytime I watch a show and one of my favorite characters gets to sing on the show, I'm so happy. Like unrelated by Comic-Con today, The Simpsons announced that their season 33 premiere is going to be a musical, and I'm so hyped because again, musical fan right here. But like when I saw that clip and everybody saying "Sunny," it's like that SpongeBob meme. Hey, everybody, listen! Lincoln Loud from the Loud House is singing. Come on! Like I'm like, oh my god, here we go. And then I like listened to it like on loop as I was drawing. I was crying. I'm like, Asher Bishop is the king because I love it. Like it's so cute and like just like the fact because like Lincoln is singing about how he kind of feels like his sisters are stealing the spotlight, so now he's trying to stand out. And my gosh, I could gush about the fact that they brought back again callbacks from the show where Lincoln's giving out breakfast burritos and doing magic. I'm like, yes, Loud House, thank you. Like, yes, that's what you should be doing. Bringing callbacks in the movie as us fans are like, yes, we recognize that. Like, that's great. Like, I love it. It is like Omi saying, it's a gift from the heavens that they're letting Lincoln, my favorite character, singing this in this movie, and this movie is a musical, so he's probably gonna sing more, and I'm gonna cry for days because I'm crying over seeing Lincoln sing in the show, and I'm so happy. Or that show movie, I should say movie, not show, but like you know what I mean. But like I'm so happy. Like yes, thank you. Like I love that was the first clip we saw because yes, I loved it. I loved it so much.
I mean, it's only like it was only 30 seconds, but to say the least, like it got me like singing the same song too. I'm like, well, not singing it, but more like, man, I'm listening to this a lot now. It's so good.
Shame they dropped teased it and only preview 30 seconds though.
It gave me like I don't know if you guys ever seen The Greatest Showman, but like the ending where like Lincoln goes, "I'm gonna be the Duke," remind me of the song from Greatest Showman. This is me. You know, I don't know why it gave me Greatest Showman vibes, but it really does feel like a musical Broadway type song, like Lincoln's "I Want" song. You know, so I'm just really excited for more songs because like the picture you have of Luna, I'm sure she's gonna sing a song in the movie, obviously, but I'm really excited to see what songs we'll get. And also, if we get a soundtrack released on Spotify.
Yes.
Yes. Oh
With
my god.
every song.
Please put please put
song.
Every song. Please put every song like
Every
in the
song.
movie.
And
But
I
please-
hope that like oh
Go ahead.
well, you,
Go ahead.
I said I hope that they like it's like the actual studio recording instead of them having the characters in the back. 'Cause
Yeah.
that is-
Yeah.
In every like Loud House song that I've been listening to right now, it's like, why are we listening to like Lori say something or Lola say something? Let's just have the original track. Just the original track, please.
Yeah, like in like with the soundtrack for Really Loud Music, like I like to listen to The Best Thing Ever and they included the characters talking and I'm like that just takes
Yeah.
away from the song. Like why and
Yeah.
then like you have Luna's song What Have I Done, which is also like a really good song, and then you can hear like the cars
Still
in
have
the
the
back.
opening. You still have that stuff. Yeah.
And I'm just like, what in the world? So, and like, I know with movies and stuff, they usually release the soundtrack the same day. So this will, if we get a soundtrack, it'll probably come out the same day the movie does.
Mhm.
Oh, good. So I'll have
Oh
to
my
be
god.
spoiled.
And that's why it's coming out on a
They released
Friday.
it like 2 days before the movie, and we're spoiled on what songs are.
Yeah.
I just hope like it drops on midnight, and then all of us are gonna be the first people to
Yes.
watch it.
I know.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't care. It'll come out that Friday, August 20th, and
Yeah.
I'll be like, I don't care if I'm gonna be up for so long. I
Pretty
need to
much.
see it first.
Like, I know Netflix usually uploads their new stuff at 12 a.m. on Pacific time, so that'll be 2 a.m. for me. So, and I work on Fridays, so it'll depend on if I have to work or if not, because like I usually get like a week off in August, so hopefully it's during the week when I'm off. So
If you say West Coast, then we may have the first.
Yeah.
to-
yeah,
For
y'all
me.
get it.
For me, it's oh
Yeah,
boy,
it's-
3 a.m.
Yeah, y'all get it.
Oh boy, yeah, you should have that reminder now. Oh boy, 3 a.m. It's not a Krabby Patty. It's a Loud House movie.
Yeah, that's like with Disney Channel. Like they upload all of their new episodes of stuff at 12 a.m. Pacific time. So I stay up until 2 a.m. just to see stuff.
Yeah, like I already had my whole plan for the movie to watch it. Like I told myself, like I'm gonna go to bed really early the night before, like shut everything off, shut all social media off. That way I'm not spoiled. I wake up super early in the morning, and then I watch it literally like 6, 7 a.m. I don't care what time I wake up early. I'm literally just getting
need
up
to-
to watch it. And I told
Yes.
myself that I'm gonna record my actual reaction to the movie and maybe upload it on YouTube or like some
You need a
MP3
Twitch thing.
something like.
Oh god.
Because I want to record my true reaction to the movie.
You need
Because
to
I'm
be a
just
Twitch
that
thing. Maybe it
hyped.
can happen.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, like if I have
Maybe.
to,
You can have a react video. I mean, you can do it on YouTube. I think that should be
yeah,
fine.
That's
like
true.
if I have to, like if I have to work that day, I'll probably just watch it whenever I get home. So I'm hoping I don't have to work, but we'll see what happens. I don't know yet.
Oh.
Oh.
What do you?
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah, I was
else?
gonna say I
Obviously?
haven't said anything yet.
There's a lot. There's a lot of other things too.
There's so much to talk about with it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Okay,
what
so
I'm-
let's talk about the dragon thing. I thought that was a pretty cute dragon.
It was cute, and yeah, it was in
Yeah.
Spanish, so like I didn't understand what they were saying because like my listening in Spanish is not that good, but I thought it was really cute. And one thing I wanted to say about like the movie so far from what we've seen, like from the song, is like this is kind of something that like I've always wanted to see with this show. Is like we know that Lincoln kind of already feels like he's overshadowed because like we saw that in season 1, but I feel like this time we're gonna go a little bit deeper into it, and like this is a movie, so we've got to have
Yeah.
some kind of angst. We've got to have angst.
Yes.
Right.
So, but then the dragon, yeah, the dragon was cute. I mean, it's a baby dragon. How can it not be cute?
Yeah. I mean, as that mentioned, because I have to go all full like a WoW fan. That I'm very excited to see like if they really do expand on Lincoln's, like if this is Lincoln's story, it's gonna be his character journey. Because like I said on Twitter, Lincoln is my favorite protagonist of any show I've watched ever in my life. He's my favorite protagonist for that reason specifically because I find Lincoln so fascinating. Like, I hate to say it, but a lot of people don't really understand why Lincoln is very like important to the show, as a character, because like what you understand why Lincoln would feel overshadowed or in the or the sisters would steal the spotlight is because you would think, oh, Lincoln does stand out because he's the only boy in the family. But what else is there to that in the reality of the show? Like the sisters have their unique personalities, their unique interests, all that. Lincoln may have so many interests, but so many to where he doesn't stand out. He's doing so many things where he's trying to make himself stand out, but he's still just the boy in the family of 10 sisters. So, like, the fact that he would feel overshadowed by his sisters is something that is, of course, is related to the show. He's always felt that way since season 1 and forward. It's just very interesting that they're actually starting that up again. And I think that's really good for the movie itself because in the movie you can expand on that. And I really want to see that Lincoln learns either that his family's not overshadowing him or replacing him or not replacing him, but forgetting him. Because like there's that one clip where they're in the submarine and they're all saying like, Lincoln, thank you for doing this. Thank you, Lincoln. It's like, wait, so he gets them to Scotland? How? But why is he doing this? Because he's trying to get his family to notice him, of course. So we'll probably learn why Lincoln feels that way. And hopefully it expands more on his character. Because like I said, Lincoln to me is so interesting in that way. And I think that's a great way to expand on his character more. Because again, I've been really happy with the reception of Lincoln in season 5. That people are starting to see why Lincoln is the best character in the show. And I've been saying this for 5 seasons. But I'm glad that people are finally recognizing that. Because yes, he is the best protagonist of any show ever to me. But the best protagonist of the show, obviously. But now that there's a movie, I think it'll even like open more eyes to see why Lincoln is like the best to me. But I mean, obviously you guys know why I feel like that. But I want to see why people, like everyone else, could feel that way. But you never know. But that's just me.
I agree. He is like the best character. And I think arguably he's probably like more developed than most of his sisters. And always has been.
Ooh, I think throughout
That's
all of the
a
Loud
hot
House,
take right there.
I think throughout all the Loud House, he really is like, well developed from all the seasons that we've watched from the Loud House. Like, yeah, from season 1, we have a lot of focus on him. And then throughout the rest of the seasons, we focus more on the sisters. But in season 5, we get back to Lincoln, and then we have all these impactful episodes for Lincoln that I was like, okay, he's a really good boy now. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like me say, I don't want to say I disagree because Lincoln's my favorite character. So I'm gonna say maybe that's true. But at the same time, maybe it's not because like the sisters do have really good character development in most cases.
Yeah.
They
but
do. They do.
I hate to say it, but maybe,
Agreed. We have a thing tomorrow about Lincoln, so I don't know. We're gonna
I will be there. I will be sitting, watching, judging, making sure you're accurately correct. If I hear anything wrong about Lincoln, I will comment.
No, she
It'll
will,
be on
Better
our-
watch
it'll be on
out,
our-
Omid. I'm watching you
she
in
will
the
personally
chat.
call you and yell at you every time you're wrong.
Oh man.
I will find you. I'll call in and be like, wait a minute. Actually, in this episode, Lincoln didn't you just guys just hang up on me? I've never That was the last time.
But yeah, I gotta say though, I mean, Lincoln is really developed, and if we're gonna be if this story, I know that the Loud House movie is gonna be focusing on Lincoln, considering that he's going to be the Duke of Scotland throughout. He had a song about it. He pretty much is promoting it. He literally has a photo shoot about it. I know, so it is going to be reflecting all about Lincoln. So I would imagine that it's going to be something about, what you're saying, Sunny. Like he's, foreshadowed in the Loud House. The sisters, kind of has more spotlight compared to Lincoln. That's why the him being a duke could be a thing that could like say, hey, I can also be, ruly as well. I guess. A way to say it is interesting, but yeah, for him to be like a duke would be pretty interesting. I'm looking at how like the movie will portray, because it feels like there's there's a woman there that looks to be the villain. I feel like she's trying her best to take the throne. I'm like putting my thoughts on the movie right now, and I'm just saying like, because it's gonna go back to they're gonna go back to the Loud House. They're not gonna stay in Scotland. Maybe, I don't know if they could actually, and then all the Loud House would now be in Scotland. Maybe she might take the throne, but it could be some sort of different way, like maybe a deal instead of like her trying to sabotage things with Lincoln. But yeah, my early implications say like it's definitely a Lincoln story. That woman that was pretty much like a maid in the whole castle seems to be the one who wants to overthrow the throne. And then every Loud Sister's doing their own thing. I mean, Luna's doing her rock and roll. Lynn and Lana, you saw them like found a dragon. I have to say, like, they're probably gonna do their own thing as well. I really do hope like we get to see more clips, because it gives us more to see like what the other Loud Sisters are gonna do. Like Lori and Bobby are gonna do something. Maybe Bobby might be in Scotland. They're gonna do some fun stuff there. Lola,
Where's Ronnie Ann? Where is Ronnie Ann? Come on! Where is she? I know she did it. I want to see her. Come on.
Watch Lincoln come up, and then Ronnie Ann comes in, like, just saying, "Hey, welcome to Scotland. I could be the Duke soon. You could be my, my Queen Command or something."
Oh my god! Don't. I like that skip. Don't give me hope.
Don't tempt Sunny's fate.
I just need to see one frame, just one frame, just so I know she's in it.
Just one video, one little scene that at least tells us.
I already predicted what's gonna happen. I already know how it's gonna go. Like Lori will call Bobby and be like, "Hey, Bobby, I'm in Scotland," and Bobby's like, "That's great, Lori. Have fun." And then Ronnie comes in like, "Hey, Bobby, we gotta go clean the Mercado," and Bobby's like, "Okay, gotta go, bye," and that's it. That's all they get in the movie.
I hope not. I hope not. I really hope they
That's
actually
it.
did have. I really did hope they have something. I really hope they do something more than just one-liners.
I swear, I watched it just be one line, and that's it. But yeah, I want to say about the trailer that came out today, the longer one. Like, I know the animation is something that is a huge discussion on whether we like it or don't like it, or it's hard to get used to and stuff. But I feel like, the song clip, while I like, wasn't really the best impression for the first look at the movie itself. But the trailer, like the animation started, and the clips that we've been getting today, the animation started to get a lot better to look at. I think we're just
Yeah.
not used to this type of style they're going for,
Yeah.
because they're trying to keep it consistent to the show, but they're changing it up a bit because the characters stand out so much from the beautiful backgrounds. The backgrounds are gorgeous. Like,
Oh yeah.
props to the background artist, amazing. But the animation itself is a little bit different than the show, just because they're doing it different, like, and they're animating it a little differently. But every clip I've seen now, I'm like, yeah, the animation is looking much better. It's just gonna be like, right now it's hard to get used to, but once we see the actual movie, I think our eyes will just adjust to it, But I think everything we see from the full trailer looks great. Like, there's some great stuff in that. Again, like the Luna scene you're showing right now, the animation and the lighting is gorgeous in that scene. Or like the one with the dragon. Like the shots in that are great. Like they've been really, like, they're doing a lot of stuff in this movie to make it more cinematic. Like, that clip we got like months ago, where it was like the one where Lincoln's like, "I'm duking," and then like the scene where he's walking down the stairs, like, felt so cinematic from the show, and I like that they're trying to make it feel like a movie. So I think, again, the animation, while it's a little wonky at times, I think it will. I think it looks great. I think it'll look great once we see the actual full movie and get used to it.
Yeah. I think for me, it's mostly the eyes. Like, the eyes are kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they kind of look like they're staring into my soul.
I gotta say though, like, looking back at the clips, they are like smooth flowing. Like, it's so
Yeah.
different. You can totally see that it's so different than what the Loud House
There was
made.
like that one part where they were getting out of or where they were like in the submarine, and you see the camera like panning away, and they were almost like in CGI for a moment. And I was
CGI.
like, whoa,
Yeah.
that is so cool.
That is like smooth. Actually, that's like
Yeah.
smooth. Like the way
Yeah.
that the camera just like pans over to Scotland, like going into the back of the submarine and then into Scotland. That one I think was like really a good take to have. And you can say like the
Yeah.
animation. You can say the animation's bad, whatever. Like I said, it's just smooth flowing. The background, like what Sunny said, the backgrounds look absolutely amazing. It looks good. It's definitely different than what the Loud House show has, but you can totally see that it's way different, and I would say still pretty good.
Yeah. Like,
Mhm.
in animation, like, I was studying animation. I have my bachelor's in animation, which I don't know if I should brag about that, but I have a bachelor's in animation. Like, it's really cool to see what they're doing with the animation and, like, to make it more cinematic. Because again, that scene in the submarine, they use a bit of CGI, which is kind of off-putting as an animation expert. I'm like, I know what kind of thing they're doing with that. Like, it's a little nitpicky to me, but I think it's pretty cool that they're just trying new things out that they haven't done in the actual show to make it more cinematic. Which
Yeah,
is
and
neat.
I think it's because like the show has never really done anything like that, because it's supposed to look like a comic strip, so the characters are flat, and they kind of like, when they turn around, they're just like, it's like you're flipping them over on a piece of paper, basically. So they're supposed
Yeah.
to look like characters who were pasted on like a piece of paper, whereas now they're trying to show us like stuff from different angles, and so it is a lot different, but
Yeah,
it's kind of
like-
cool.
Like, it's weird how, like, there's angles where Lynn has a new headband, like a new hair tie, and you can see the hair tie and her ponytail, which is not something we're supposed to see with her character design. Like, if you see Lynn's like character turnaround, you're not supposed to see the hair tie, but in the movie they show her red hair tie, which you never see in the actual show. But again, they're trying to make it like different. Like, it's interesting. Like, I remember like watching the submarine scene again, and like, again, that whole clip is great. But like, they're talking on the submarine, they're standing on it, and if you just notice it a little bit, they animate the hair flowing as they're on, like, they're standing on it, and like the breeze is flowing. I didn't even notice it till like I watched it. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, I don't think they've ever really done, like, again, like they're really trying to like do more subtle details in the animation to make it more like flow fluid.
Dynamic.
Like, the animation, yeah, dynamic, and also very fluid. Because again, like, a lot of scenes are very fluid, and it's just, again, it's very hard because like our show, the show's very, I wouldn't say stiff, but they don't try to be as fluid as like this. Like, this feels very fluid and different,
Mhm.
but I like it a lot.
Yeah, me too. And I remember like and I remember like we were wondering if it would be like kind of like what they did with the My Little Pony movie, where it was like it looked just like the show, but then they kind of added like the shading and stuff. And I haven't really seen anything like that, but so far it does look pretty good. Just the eyes are a little uncanny, but once you watch it, you'll probably get used to it.
I can say a good example of that is in the clip we got months ago with Lincoln again. What are you doing, duking? Like, the scene where he comes out, there's like a beautiful, like, that shading on Lincoln, like the light coming from, like, I guess it was like the window, the glass window where he comes out, and the light is reflected on him. Like, I know how to do that, but it's like that looks so pretty. Like, that's amazing. Like, that's how you do shading. Again, there's some really cool shots in the trailer where, again, they are making it more cinematic, where there is, again, like the Luna scene there is really great to show nice cinematic lighting and shading in the movie. So again, we haven't seen it from the, like, they really don't show a lot from it from the clips, but from what I've seen, I remember that scene, I'm like, yes, the lighting in that was beautiful. So I'm just really excited to see more from the movie, because like we got, like, I don't know, a bunch of clips today, and I feel like we've been fed a little too much, but I don't complain. I've been waiting to see from what the movie could give us, and I'm very hyped for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you guys pretty much covered everything I had to say, because I haven't actually watched the submarine clip yet. It came out while I was busy with other things, and I didn't have time to watch it, but I'm going to watch it, obviously, probably after the stream, or tomorrow on a fresh brain. Because we got a lot today, and some of that's going to come out later with the miscellaneous topic at the end. So is that everything you want to talk about with the movie, at least for now?
Yeah.
For now, yeah.
I will say that we are planning to do something pretty big with a hybrid watch party live stream thing, exactly a month from today, so August 21st would be the day where we watch the movie and then do a stream about it. So I mean, we'll have to work out those details later, but
All right.
that's the plan anyway. But just something to look forward to. So next up, we're gonna go to the new shorts and start with the after school snack.
I watched that one earlier because I didn't
Oh.
watch it yesterday.
Yes, Carl. How lovely. Again.
The
Say,
audacity.
like, I just want to say, like, I liked the title card for this one. That was
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Yeah,
cool.
I love the way they did that.
I gotta say though, like, yeah, we there's a lot of Carl episodes. Now we have Carl shorts, and this is still a pretty clever episode just for Carl to just be all secret agent, and try to find his bag of chips.
I want to say real quick, I know I just realized this, and I don't, like, this isn't really a negative, but I feel like they're making Carl the Lincoln of the Casa Grandes. I don't like to say that as a positive or negative, but like after this, I'm like, but we just had family bonding where Lincoln's in the Spies. Now Carl's in the Spies? You're just making him the Lincoln of the Casa Grandes now, and I don't know whether you're trying to convince me to like Carl more by doing that, or am I supposed to be like, what? Yeah, it's like, yeah, Carl's being like Lincoln. And now I'm like, well, I want Carl and Lincoln bro TP now. I want them bonding now.
I feel like Carl is looking up to Lincoln or something. Like, liking all his stuff that he likes.
like, I made this
He likes a hero like El Falcon.
Yeah.
Lincoln likes what was it?
Ace Abby.
Ace Abby. Yeah, I mean, there's so much comparisons to that you can see between Lincoln and Carl. So it's like maybe he is looking up to Lincoln. Who knows?
Yeah, 'cause I made this comparison on Twitter where I'm like, well, Carl's in the spies, and Link is in the spies. Carl likes, superheroes, and Link likes superheroes. Carl's detective, Carl and Link has been a detective before. I'm just saying, we need this bro TP now. I will make it work. But like the short itself, like, do the fruit shake blew me away, while this was just like, oh, that's cute, like it's nice, it's cute. I like Carlitos being the bad guy. That was really funny. His little like this crossover his eye or whatever. And I always love seeing Frida. She's my favorite Casa Grande, so I love seeing Frida because I love her. She's great. But like, yeah, it was cute. That's all I'll say. It was fine.
I mean, the question you said, are they trying to make me like Carl more? My question is it working?
I mean, if Do the Fruit Shake remix says one thing, maybe. It convinced me. But this, maybe, I guess so? If they're making me want to like give the idea of Lincoln and Carl being friends, then I guess I'm hooked. I guess I'm convinced then. I guess I like Carl again. Good on you, Casagrande.
No,
I gotta say this. Sorry, I gotta say this though. Carl has a lot of episodes. Lets it doubt a bit. I mean, I like Carl, but come on, there's too much focus on Carl recently with Loud House. I mean, the Casagrandes.
I mean, Seren doesn't complain, so
No, I know.
can't be bad.
Seren doesn't complain. And it's more like, can we get some more focus on like Carlota or Bobby or Ronnie Ann and Sid? You know.
I would like some more focus on Bobby. We've not got enough.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nina would like that a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
you would.
Be listening.
Speaking of Bobby, meet the Mercado.
Yes. Oh, this short.
I love the perspective
They're
of this
there.
short.
Yes, this one was
Wait, let me
good.
see.
This was good.
The background's not changing yet. Oh, there it is. Oh, look at Ronnie, and she's cute. I wish you could have picked the one where there's the perspective shot where the fruit falls on her and she was like grabbing the camera. I love that one. That seems great. Like, I love this short so much that like the Do the Fruit Shake one. This one makes me so happy because, ladies and gentlemen, and they finally did it. Ronnie had broke the fourth wall. We did it!
Oh,
Victory!
well, she did it before Relative Chaos, didn't she?
No, but like in the Casa Grandes,
Yes,
in the
yes.
spin-off.
In
It
the
is
Casa
the
Grandes.
first time in the spin-off after 2 seasons they finally had to break the fourth wall, and I'm like, well, what do I do now? Do I quit the show now? I've been waiting for it for 2 seasons. What do I do now? It finally happened. I mean, they all did, but still, she did it, so I'm celebrating. She finally broke the fourth wall. So happy.
I mean, that's what Lincoln has been doing in the Loud House. Now Ronnie Ann is doing it in the Casa Grande. It's the first time she's ever done it in the Casa
It's
Grande.
the short. It needs to be in the actual show. This is just short. It needs to be in the show now. Like, you gotta do it in the show to make it complete. Like, she's broke the fourth wall in the intros. The one for the Casa Grande arc and one for the intro of the song. But those are intros. Not in the actual show Casa Grandes, but they did it at least in the short. It counts because, like, it's in the show, but the real show, like the actual show, needs to happen first. But like, I love this so much. Like, this is so creative to where they actually are like, you're the 1,000th customer, and they're treating us like a customer. Like, they're talking to us as the audience, of course, breaking the fourth wall. But it felt like, I want you guys to be real. I felt like, I want you guys to be real. I just wanna hug Ronnie Ann and tell her how much I love her. Thank you for letting me be the 1,000th customer. You're so cute. I love you. Like, I loved the idea of this whole short. Like, I loved it so much. Like, it's just so cute and adorable. And like, all the characters get their own little chances to shine. And it's like, I love the POV of everything. Like, Bobby handing the treat, or Roddy and handing us the little coupon. Like, everything about this was so adorable. And this is what, and I'm like, yes, if you're going to do shorts, do stuff like this. Like, this is really creative, and I liked it a lot. And I think it was just really cute and adorable, and I love it. It's great.
And I hear there's 2 more shorts next week.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah, big war.
K-pop dance battle one, and the history of the Casagrandes. I know the K-pop one is a Sergio one.
Oh, Lord.
Goody.
Oh, what?
It's-
I thought we could have
yeah.
more Elvis Midnight. Dang it.
Yeah,
I wonder
clip-
they'll feature their songs. I hope. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll feature their songs.
Yes.
To say the least, though, I mean, I got nothing much to say about the Meet the Mercado. I love the idea, the creativity of you being being in the perspective of a person who's, you know, being guided by Roddy Ann to talk about the Mercado. You're a 1,000 customer, and here's what happens in the Mercado, which I thought was, you know, really creative. And I love, like, you know, you literally being the fourth person, and you literally being the person actually like receiving the coupon, looking at everything, all the craziness that happens in the Mercado. So I really love that, and I have seen this idea done before. I think Gravity Falls has done it before, and I think some other cartoons did it themselves. And just the perspective of it looked pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, nothing much to say about this short. I just love how creative it is and how hilarious it is over at the Mercado. And just how how funny the Casagrandes are. It's great.
Yes.
Okay, so we're on to the next segment, which is going to be just kind of a miscellaneous thing where we talk about other shows for a few minutes. We've gone over 2 hours at this point, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to... how long do you think we should do this segment for?
What is it?
This is the miscellaneous stuff, so we, like, each of us can kind of go around and bring up a topic, and we'll talk about it for a few minutes each. I want to say 5 minutes apiece.
yeah, sure, 5 minutes.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So, I think you'll like the slide I picked for this one, because I knew what was coming today.
Yes, yes. Oh my god. Because of it. Oh, the big news that happened today. Oh.
I knew it was coming today.
And look, Amphibian fans, I think we got our dessert today.
Yeah.
Season 3 sneak peek, and the sneak peek was like beautiful. Oh. I mean, I guess I'll explain it for a little bit. Yeah. Anne met her parents, and it is amazing, and also the planters, and this is going to be a good startup. I heard that it also is a 45-minute episode for the beginning, so that's already gonna take my cake. But I know me and Omid, we were supposed to be at Comic-Con. We both watched the panel, and we were amazed to see like obviously the Amphibia of season 3 the season 3 preview that popped up. And yeah, no doubt about it, I loved it. It just gets me all hyped to wait. Get me all hyped. I have to wait till October to watch it, but can't wait to see what happens next. To say the least, though, at least Anne is safe. She's with her parents. She's looked like she's having a fun time reuniting with her parents, and the parents are really chill with the frogs at the moment. The new poster that came out for Amphibia was also pretty chill. Was also pretty cool too. But knowing that it's a 45-minute episode, I'm pretty sure we're also going to be seeing like what happened to Marcy, what happened to Sasha, and everything else in Amphibia. So I can't wait. I'm just so happy that we actually did get a preview of season 3, and I can't wait for October when this comes out.
Yeah.
Did you hear that there's gonna be a Christmas special with a song written by Rebecca
Yes.
Sugar of all
Yes.
people?
She's back.
Dude.
I'm like, she's
Yeah.
back.
I wasn't watching it today because I had some other stuff going on. But I saw the tweets after, and I was blown away. Like, I watched the sneak peek, and I was extremely happy. That sneak peek made me the happiest I've been in a long time. Watching it.
Same. Yeah,
And
I love Amphibious so much. Like
yeah,
it's probably my favorite Disney show at the moment. And seeing that clip of Anne reuniting with her parents and like meeting the planters, again, like this Amphibious is so funny. Like it's such a funny show. So like seeing again how funny the characters are always reminds me how funny the show is, but like how heartwarming it is, and like again seeing Anne reunite with her parents is just a long time coming for us Amphibia fans, and just I'm so happy the show is coming back soon. So yeah, I'm very excited too.
okay. I mean, is there anything else we want to say on Amphibia? Oh, by the way, on that top of the panel, because I didn't get to see it, was there any news on Owl House stuff?
Nothing new. Oh well, except one thing. I think they mentioned it that there was something with Amity VA, like she said something, and
Yes,
then
she was there. She
yeah,
was only there for like 20 seconds, but it
May
was
was
supposed to be a
there.
Lumity scene. It's supposed
yeah,
to be some sort of Lumity scene. But
yeah.
Lumity fans, hey, they're listening to us. So Lumity fans who are out
Yay.
there, hey.
I
I
did.
mean, there was
What's
I
that?
was, I was gonna say I didn't watch it, but I love May.
Yeah.
the amazing the amazing Owl House and Amphibia crossover we've all been waiting for. That was amazing.
Oh,
I love that.
I love the table read that they both did. They were all in character. The way that it was scripted too was also really funny.
I love when Polly kept calling Luce the better dressed Anne.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, Katara's my favorite too.
What else can I say about the table read? Because I felt like, well, then again, I love how the table read, because like Ida is just still being Ida. He did steal that wallet from Pop Pop, so I'm sorry, Hop Pop, you're broke again.
Okay, so I mean, my topic was going to be Amphibia because that just made me so happy.
Oh snap! Sorry.
Oh no, I'm glad you took it because it was going to be at least two of our topics anyway. So, Sunny, what did you have in mind?
Me? Well, I guess I could just mention, because today I mentioned before, but there was also the Simpsons panel today, because I'm a huge Simpsons fan, as I became a big fan of the show last year. So I got into the show around season 32. So it's like, yeah. And this year is season 33, and they did a panel with the artists and the directors in the show, and Lisa's VA, Yardley Smith, she was the host of the panel, which is pretty cool. So they read like fan questions, and so some fans got to ask questions to the crew and stuff, which was pretty cool. And then they preview what's going to happen in season 33. Of course, like I said, their openers are their first full musical episode they've ever done in the show. That isn't just like I know people know the Mary Poppins episode they've done in the show, or there's All Singing All Dancing from season 9, which is Eclipse show, so it doesn't really count in canon. But this is their first full length musical episode, which I'm really excited about. And apparently Marge is gonna be voiced like her. She's gonna have a singing voice, and it's gonna be Christian Bale, Anna from Frozen, which is pretty cool.
Oh my
Like,
God.
Oh my God.
yeah. Because like in the episode, they said Marge wants to imagine her having a better singing voice, which I guess because her voice actor is getting older, so she can't really sing as well. So like that's kind of a meta commentary. So like in the episode, she's gonna be voiced by Christian Bell, which is amazing. So I can't wait for that. And then this year's Treehouse of Horror is that they always have 3 segments in the Treehouse of Horror. This year they're doing, for the first time ever, they're doing 5 segments in Treehouse of Horror, which is amazing. Like I didn't think they were ever gonna do that, but that's amazing. They showed a clip from that. They actually showed a clip from that one, which was like it was a Bart centric segment that was narrated by Maurice LaMarche, if you know that voice actor, and it was pretty cool.
Yes.
They did a cool style for that. And I think that's about it, what they said about. And then they also said there's gonna be their next 2-parter, because they've only done like two-parters. They did one like 1 hour special, which is like a rap special in season, like I think it's season 29 or something. And then they did a two-parter in season 30. Was it 30 or 31? I think it was 30 with the priest one. So then they're gonna do a two-parter with Flanders, which is pretty cool. So again, I'm really excited for the musical one because again, I love The Simpsons. It's my second favorite show now, next to the Loud House and Casa Grandes. And I really hope my boy Bart gets to sing in the special because it's a musical. But yeah, pretty excited about that because I was really happy. Let's like season 32 was great. I know a lot of people have their opinion on Modern Simpsons, but I've been binging the show. I'm still binging the show. I'm so close to finishing, but not yet. But I think the show overall hasn't lost its quality, and season 32 was awesome. Like I loved that entire season. So I'm very excited to see what season 33 brings. Because again, I love this show, The Pieces. I never thought I would get into The Simpsons the way I did, but to me, it's a great show, and people should stop judging the modern season because I think the modern seasons are great. So I really love The Simpsons. And I can't wait to see what season 32 does because I'm very excited for that music. I'm very excited for that musical episode for sure.
Yeah, I have never gotten into The Simpsons. I like it, but I do plan on somehow getting through all 32 seasons in some way. That is just a daunting task that I keep putting off.
I highly recommend it. Like again, like I know people are judgmental towards modern seasons of The Simpsons. I know not as good as the classic era, but to me, I think the modern seasons people give flack for, and there's lots of great episodes of the modern seasons. Again, I recommend season 32. If you just want to watch the current season to get ready for season 33, watch season 32. Okay, I'm gonna recommend episodes for season 32. I recommend Diary Queen because it's a Bart-centric episode. It's one of my favorites. Also, Wild Goals Bart episode, but it's a Bart and Marge episode, which I really like. What's the other one I recommend? Oh, it's what is it? Dad Feelings Unlimited. Yeah, it's a comic book guy episode, but it's about him wanting a kid, and there's lots of cute family moments in that episode I really like. And I think last one I'll recommend is it's Now Museum, Now You Don't. It's a anthology episode. It's one where they do like stories about art, and I love that one just because again like Bart gets to be Zorro for like 5 seconds. It's like my favorite thing ever. But the stories and stuff too are good too. But Treehouse of Horror is but the Treehouse of Horror, the one with the Toy Story parody where they do the Simpsons in 3D animation is so great too. I highly recommend that too. So again, if you want to catch up season 32, you don't have to watch every single season. But if you want to be a mega fan like me right now, you can watch every single season. I recommend it, but I know people are busy. So if you want to get into it and get to season 33, just watch season 32. There's no continuity, so you don't have to keep up with 32 seasons me.
Yeah.
I'm just one of those people. If I start a show, I have this mindset I have to watch every episode of it. Always been that way, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Alright, so we have one person left with a topic. I think I know what it's going to be.
Gee, I wonder what it's going to be.
I
don't know.
Is it something about a ladybug and a cat?
I've never heard of it. What is this show?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Doesn't sound familiar to me.
Oh, it's the other thing on Disney Channel.
Is it?
Doesn't ring a bell.
And it's funny. Before I start, Sunny is actually the one who got me into that show, and people don't believe me when I tell them that, but she did.
I was a fan before Nat, which is funny, because I got to it early on. I kept trying to get her into it because it's like it's a show made for her. It's shipping galore, and then she finally got into it.
Yeah, and then I just it just hit me one day, and I was obsessed, and I haven't stopped since, and now my room is like miraculous everything. I literally have a $260 statue of Ladybug and Cat Noir next to my bed. That's how much I love them. But as for the show itself, it's been a bit slow with news stuff. The only thing I can think of that we've gotten in the last week was like really big. Like the other day, we got like a really big spoiler. Like they just revealed a spoiler on the channel. And I'm like, I don't even know if I should say it because it's like a big, big spoiler. But other than that, like we've been having like new episodes every Saturday, after the Owl House. So it's kind of fun. And like I've already seen the episodes because they usually air them in another country. But I watched them again because like I know the one that aired today, it hadn't been aired in English before. So I watched the new Owl House and then I watched that one. And then on the 7th though, there is an episode airing on Disney Channel and it's the world premiere. Like nobody's seen that one yet. So we're finally getting a premiere in English and we have no idea what that episode's about. So I'm really excited about that. And then something aside from the show, but it is miraculous related, is I was going to mention this earlier, but like we were talking about musicals and stuff, is we actually have the movie coming out. It doesn't have a release date yet, but we know it's going to probably come out somewhere around October or November, and it's a musical movie. And what's interesting is, like, for anyone, like, you know, if you're interested in getting into the show, but you don't want to watch all the episodes, the movie is going to be separate from the show. So it's like a retelling of how Marinette and Adrian get their powers, basically. And it's made by the guy that, like, he owns Miraculous, but the actual creator of the show isn't involved in it. Like, it's going to be its own thing. So you can check that out, I guess. And there's also a book coming out for the movie. So I don't know, like, I hope that doesn't come out before the movie, because then that's just the big spoiler. Like, imagine if you buy the book before the movie comes out and then you already know what's going to happen in the movie.
I've done that before. I remember when Wreck-It Ralph, I was in the Wreck-It Ralph fandom, and they had a book for the Wreck-It Ralph movie, and someone put the entire book out on Tumblr, and I was reading it through just so I could see the Felix and Calhoun scenes. I shipped them in the fandom.
Yes.
I'm like, are they gonna be canon? Where is it in the book?
Yeah, like, oh yeah, Vincent, I just saw. Yeah, I'm not gonna say what the spoiler was. Just, it's something that's really big, so I'm not gonna say it. But yeah, like, if that happens, I'm gonna be like, well, you know what? And then, like, if the sound, like, because since it's a musical movie, like, if the soundtrack comes out the same day that the movie comes out, or like before that, and I haven't seen the movie yet, because the movie's gonna be in theaters, like, it's not a Netflix movie, I'm gonna be like, oh, do I listen to the songs now or do I wait? Like, it depends. If they're in French, maybe, because then I won't understand what they're saying anyway. But like, if it's in English, I'm gonna be like, no, I want to see the context of the songs. But and then speaking of the movie, I actually got they just came out with these new Miraculous wristwatches that are pretty cool. One of my friends bought me one because I think they're like, it was like $55. Like, they're expensive, and he was like, oh, let me buy you one. So he sent me one. And what's really cool is it actually came on the box. There is a slip that has the movie's logo on it. And I'm like, hold on a minute. What does the watch have to do with the movie? And so it got me thinking, like, well, if the movie's going to come out by the end of the year like they say it is, then that means maybe they're going to start advertising the movie more. Maybe we'll get a trailer sometime. Because, like, Jeremy Zag, who's like he's like the guy that owns he's the one that owns the rights to Miraculous, basically. He's always posting, like, pictures from the movie, and he posted a clip one time, and then, yeah. So I'm like, well, from what we've seen, it's mostly done. So I'm like, if they're advertising it on the watches, that's the first advertisement I've seen of it outside of, like, you know, from the internet and stuff, like, outside of social media. So I'm like, maybe we're and I'm really excited for the movie. But then, like, as for season 4, I'm not gonna say any spoilers, of course. Just, I have been enjoying it, but because especially there's some angst with, like, my favorite character, which is Adrian. So, like, I am really excited, and I know Sunny is in pain because there's a lot of like Lady Noir angst too, and I'm just like, oh, but it's so good.
Yeah, it's painful though. It's very painful.
It's painful, but the thing is, like, I know eventually they need to. Here's what they need to do without this. This is like the no spoiler version. They need to have a big old talk, and then whenever you see like your favorite ship have a fight or something, it's always painful. But then you get like the making up scenes, and that's the best part. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I think that's all for Miraculous. Maybe next time we do one of these, maybe there'll be a trailer for the movie next time. I don't know. As of right now, we just have like random images and character models and stuff, but yep.
Okay. That's all I have. That's all we have for today. We got through it in 2 hours and 9 minutes.
Okay. Oh,
I'm surprised.
Impressive.
I'm surprised we did it in that long. We had so much. So at this point in the stream, everyone can go around and promote. Since I'm on a different channel, there'll be 4 people promoting. I rebranded everything, so I'll go last. Nice. Whoever wants to go first can go first.
I guess because I'm first in here, I'll go first. So hello everybody, it's Sunny, or Sunny Eclipse as you all know. If you want to follow me, my Twitter is Sunny Eclipse, of course, and I also am the host of the Casa Loud Chats podcast, and I need to get an episode out because I've been putting on a little hiatus because again, like the show, like the Loud House of Casa Grandes are on a hiatus right now, but I will be doing an episode on the musical episodes and the shorts sometime next week or the coming weeks. I don't know when, and then all the movie stuff. But yes, of course, if you want to follow my podcast, it's on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts. And of course, I have a Twitter for Casa Loud Chats. But yes, go follow that, or go follow my Twitter, because I'm not just a podcaster, I'm also an artist. And I do want to say next week, Thursday, July 29th through August 4th, is Roddy Kid Week, celebrating the 5th anniversary of And so if you want to contribute to Roddy Kid Week, whether it be art, fan fiction, making a post about it, sharing your love for Roddy Kid, please do, because it's very special to me, not just because I'm celebrating my ship as a ship week, but again, it's the 5th anniversary of the episode that got me into the show. So
yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Sunny kind of got into the show around the same time, so we've been fans for almost 5 years.
Yeah, so I'm already like working out on my fan art for this, and I'm going all out for this. Like, I'm making some background stuff that's gonna be very complicated, but I'm going all out because again, this is the 5th anniversary of the ship that changed my whole life for the better, being here with all you guys. So again, you want to contribute to Roddy Kid Week, please do. And if not, just support it. Hashtag Roddy Kid Week, you can support it. But yes, Roddy Kid Week is next week. And yeah, that's about it. That's all my promotion.
I can't wait to be a part of it too.
Thank you for contributing. I can't wait. I saw your preview, and it looks great. I can't wait to see the rest.
No doubt. All right. I guess I'll go next. So yeah, my name is Nate. I am one of the heads of the fan page of the Loud House. So if you want to follow us, please follow us or get us updated on Loud House and Casa Grandes Talk. You can head over to our Twitter at fanpage of TLH, or go to our Instagram at that same tag at fanpage of TLH. I also do draw fan art myself. I'm getting back to it since I got new software and stuff. So I'm going to be posting up fan art over at my new Twitter at fan artist Nate. I gotta change that. It's just so basic. And we also are on YouTube. So if you want to check out our Loud Casa Talks, we always do it live stream on YouTube. Head over to youtube.com/fanpage of the Loud House, and you should be able to, or just search it on YouTube and search up on YouTube the fan page of the Loud House and the Casa Grandes, and you should be able to see us on whenever we do on Loud Casa Talks. When it comes to mini episodes or our actual episodes or anything in there, if you want to yeah, just to see a little head start before we actually put it on our podcast as well. Make sure you listen to our podcast on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. And also check out our YouTube and subscribe and hit the bell button so that you can be notified of when we go live on YouTube. Yeah, that's it.
And you can follow me on Twitter at WyomingParmesan. It's basically the same on most sites except my Instagram is Wyoming 2016. And I don't really have anything planned except like, I don't know, I might write some stuff here and there. I don't know. It's just whatever. But you can watch me just talk about mostly Miraculous, but I do share a lot of Loud House stuff, so like yell about ships and stuff.
And I'm Seren. I am the host of Ecliptic Explorers, which was rebranded to allow for the segment like we just did, where we can talk about other shows than just the Loud House and the Casa Grandes. You can follow that on Twitter at Eclipticast. I managed to get that name, or on my personal Twitter at Seren Lautiago. But that's really it for today. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for all the people that stayed for 2 hours and 43 minutes.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you so much.
And thanks for coming on, yeah. It's always a pleasure doing these. It sucks that we couldn't do one of these for 6 months, but I think we're going to get back to some sort of regularity with them now, I hope.
I think we should come back and do more.
Yes, we need to do more.
I know the next one is likely going to be the 21st of August. But I mean, if we see we have enough to do another one between now and then, we can. But
yeah, especially if they premiere new episodes before the movie comes out, and there's something we want to talk about. How will we plan that?
That's something to bring up too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we got 2 shorts. I know we have some episodes. I think they've been coming out.
The Lori one?
Oh gosh, Nate, the Lori one.
Yes.
Please,
I think I'm gonna have like a full rant about that just because I want to. Because I really want to, say, hey, I'm glad that Lori's back, and I hope she actually. I don't know if she's actually gonna stay at the Loud House or is she gonna go back to college. It's just a lot of things I can talk about for Lori.
And then there's a Lily one with it, so it's like mine and his favorite sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm very excited. I
can't wait. I don't know if they're gonna premiere it next month. They're probably gonna premiere it.
I hope so. I want that Lori one right now.
Yeah, I figured because the movie's next month, they might wait until September, but
that's what I'm assuming.
Not.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. That they might just hype up the movie before they actually put the new episodes out. But yeah, Lori Days, I can't wait for it. She's back, baby.
Yes.
And that's it. Okay. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in last night. If you listened live, because I'm recording this on Sunday, so it was last night for me. But thanks for tuning in. If you listen to it live, I thank you a ton. That's all I can really say at this point. Just thank you. What's coming up for the Ecliptic Explorers podcast? We have a few episodes planned. We have the rest of the retrospectives. I need to finally get those out. They've been sitting on my drive a couple of months. I need to get those out. We have that. We have one on the Do the Fruit Shake short. And the I'm Back short. We have one on the After School Snack and the Meet the Mercado short. So there's a few in the works and being planned. I've had a couple weeks off where I didn't upload the video versions of episodes 4 and 5 yet. I will get to those as soon as possible. We're going to go and do clips of this week. There's 3 clips I'm going to do. And after that, episode 6 of the podcast will be on audio, and episode 4 will be out on video finally. So, yeah. But that's it. If you like what you heard, make sure to subscribe to the Ecliptic Explorers YouTube channel, and also make sure to follow all the rest of the team. We worked our butts off on this, and it really came out and was positive in the end. So, yeah. I hope you like the new graphics as well. I worked a ton on different graphics for this, so I hope you like those. And I hope that everything was to your liking in the end. So, yeah, that's going to do it. If you enjoyed did a video, like, subscribe, favorite, turn on notifications. And also be sure to check out the podcast on Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple. Give it a rating if you're on Apple Podcasts. That really helps it out. And yeah, I'll see you soon, later this week, for another episode of the actual podcast. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week.